Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Terminus podcast. This is episode number 101 for the weeks of June 16th, 2018. I almost messed up the date twice, but we're good. June 16th, 2018. I'm your dispatcher, Ellis, otherwise known as Trainman. And with me, my engineers are Wywold, Jader, and Milky, who's a motorman.
Hello!
And
Hi.
returning in the brakeman spot, we have Jake.
Even though he's not the brakeman yet.
Oof. Get good.
Oof.
Soon.
Anyway, before we get good, the train will terminate at the station.
Okay, this week we are in the deserts of somewhere. Where is Sunset supposed to be?
Deserts of Gary's land.
The deserts of Gary's land.
Desert of Gary.
Mods for
Sunset
Gary.
Gulch. Mods for Gary.
We're actually looking at a beautiful menu
Okay.
because I'm pause. But
Makes me
anyway,
hungry.
anyway, before we move on with our trackside tales, of which I don't have very many, let us discuss the Class 1 Mantle of Responsibility and point out that something is very wrong with the Canadians lately. Because the only derailments in the past month have been either from Canadian roads or BNSF. BNSF having like 6 derailments. Starting off this length, this fortnight, with BNSF killing someone, actually, by running a train into the back of a different train, which was a Herzog. Second train involved was pushing maintenance equipment belonging to Herzog Railroad Services, and one person is dead, 63-year-old Walter Erickson of Lexana, Texas, and another man suffered significant injuries, who was taken to a hospital in Nevada and is in stable condition. And yeah, this was at about 3 p.m., a train-on-train collision, and we don't know what happened exactly, but we do know that BNSF crashed. So, they're
Those
not getting
darn
the Class 1 Mantle of
orange
Responsibility
pumpkins.
today, or probably anytime soon, if they keep it up. Because then 2 days later, they had another derailment, 3 days later. Friday afternoon, June 8th, BNSF train derailed half-mile southwest of Meadow, Missouri, and looks like that's a lot of UPS things that got spilled off of piggyback cars. So hopefully nobody's package was on that train. Nothing hazardous, no injuries, just pigs everywhere. And it looks like a blocked road, probably. Although, no, that might not be like a regular road. And in the background, you can see like 10,000 BNSF trucks parked on the road now. So, well done, BNSF. And they continued another 5 days later. So they seem to be happening in relatively regular intervals. Minor train derailment last Tuesday night in Minot.
Minot. North Dakota.
I guess.
Minot.
Minot. You not. BNSF crews working into the wee early morning to fix it. Derailed car. Oh, it was one car. Whoop-de-frickin' do. This is nothing compared to everything else. Well, but they derailed 3 times. Canadian National then derailed 3 days later, and that was also a collision. So 2 CN trains collided and 1 caught fire, which was, the same incident. It wasn't just another train somewhere else that happened to catch fire. All 4 of the CN personnel who were on the trains were located and given medical attention. They seem to be fine. No train cars containing hazardous materials. Nothing special other than that it caught on fire and they managed to run 2 trains into one another. So, stop doing that. Because it's bad. And, maybe when these guys get their act together. But nobody else, just these guys. Everybody else has had relatively normal, crash-free. Well, that's not normal, but relatively crash-free, month really. So, props to all the other railroads, especially KCS, who still has the mantle. So anyway, moving on to Trackside Tales. What's everyone done this past couple of weeks?
I got cooked in a trolley.
Yeah, I am too.
Jader is now Roast Jader.
Yeah, how to make roast Jader. Put me in a trolley for 4 hours. The end.
Could have
Do
asked
you
to
wear a
switch.
uniform there, or
Yeah, I might have, but what?
do you wear a uniform?
No, he was naked.
Red. I wish.
That makes it way worse when you're in the heat in a uniform. I
Well,
can speak from
red-
experience.
It's either
Well, not really a uniform, but red polo and jeans.
Ah,
Yeah.
boots.
I
You
see.
have
I
to
have
wear
the full
jeans.
outfit, and it gets hot
Oh
easily.
yeah. That's right.
It's just fun when you gotta pull down the pole and turn the trolley around. Which we are operating. We're in the middle of our operating season at Oregon Electric Railway Museum, using our Blackpool car 48 as our primary car. And
Nice.
going good. Going good.
I'd wager it does not have air conditioning.
No. If anything, it has a heater, because the dynamic brake, something ladder with the dynamic brakes, is under one of the stairs,
Oh.
and it gives off heat
Yeah.
when you use
Well,
the dynamic.
if you're cold.
If we're working during Christmas, it's good, but that's about it.
Since I gotta go eat dinner, I'm gonna give my long list,
Okay.
kind of semi long list now. First big news: the Ohio Railway Museum. Our
We got number
numero
one back.
uno has returned. Number one, our saddle tank, which has been on lease to a conference center, a railroad themed conference center, nonetheless,
There's a picture of
for
it.
the past 11 years, has finally returned home. This couldn't have been possible to our historian who helped out with the funding to bring her home. It was great to see her come home for the first time. And if you're looking at the picture I sent, to the left is our passenger car and diesel locomotive.
Wait,
Oh, I just put another picture of it. Okay.
It doesn't run, does it? It does.
No.
I wish.
I was just thinking, like, you don't typically send non-running engines on adventures unless they're pepper sass, but
In other news, I've achieved a rail fanning goal. I have now taken a picture of every tier 4 that is owned by like one of a General Electric tier 4 owned by each class 1.
that's pretty
And
cool.
the last one isn't a class 1 per se.
Oh yeah, the demonstrator.
The demonstrator. Here, let me find a picture of it. Shut
I
up.
was gonna say, yeah, you ran across the road to go take that, as you always do.
Why would where else would I go? I almost
I
went to
just,
truck.
I just hang out
Where
behind
else
a
would I go?
warehouse.
There's
in
not
front of
another
all the
option here. Of
I
course
mean,
I
I was in
am.
the parking lot. I got decent pictures of it, but there's a bunch of little foamers in the way.
Why do you think I went across the street? Don't want to have
Oh, my.
Max in my photo. Twat waffle.
Wow,
Just watch. Watch. He watches
This is
this.
a
and he's
family
like,
show.
Yeah,
Also, we have no
course.
idea who Max is.
Kid
Mac-
at Train Club.
He's
Okay, good for him.
El
Listen,
Toro
if we
Loco.
don't like people, we refer to them by dumb nicknames, such as Person X.
Yeah, we just give them a letter.
Yeah, we give them
So
a
he's-
letter.
So he's person M.
No,
Secret
that's
Agent
too obvious.
M.
That's too obvious. He has to be Person J.
Person.
No. Person M is too obvious. Let's go with something more creative, like person N.
That works. Person Q. How about that?
What else have? Oh yeah, I've also I rode two or I chased one and photographed another. The Ohio Rail experience is Lima Limited. I chased, and the other pictures from my train trip are currently on my other computer, but I'll be willing to share you a couple pictures of what it looked like from the train. It was was an experience I'll never forget, being my first ever Class 1 train excursion.
Cool.
Oh.
Or mainline excursion. And it was also the first train to ever go to Urbana, Ohio in over 10 years. It's been over a decade.
The first train or just first passenger train?
First passenger train.
Okay.
That'd be a better way to put it.
Yeah, because it's otherwise inaccurate.
Go to my downloads.
Why would you put things accurately?
Well, never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Exactly.
Accuracy is for chumps.
Accuracy is for chumps,
If
and
you
also
use
for
a-
chimps.
if
It's
you
just
use
alternative
accuracy,
facts.
Chum.
Yep, alternative facts. There you go.
If you use
Alternative
accuracy,
facts.
chum.
Alternative facts seem to be taking the center stage in Durango right now. So
Oh,
many
dear.
people are just, short of crop circles and aliens, I have heard literally everything else started the fire.
So you're saying
Do
it
they
wasn't
actually-
aliens, or it was?
I'm saying it was most definitely aliens, and that
Okay.
nobody else seems to think so.
Okay.
So here are the two pictures that
Well, clearly,
the train.
if you're the only person that thinks that, everyone else has to be wrong.
Everyone else
Yes.
does have to be wrong, and that's why we are going on an adventure. I haven't really done anything besides work in the past couple of weeks, but in the next couple days, we'll be taking an adventure to Durango to deliver some parts.
For a spaceship?
Yes, for a spaceship to communicate with the aliens.
Yep.
What's going on down there right now is they actually have the railroad is shuttered, as a lot of people know, and to keep some of the shop employees, the year-round employees, actually employed. What they've done is they've started to contract out shop work to other to other railroads. Like if Cumbres and Toltec needs anything, or if we need anything, or if I know Disney's sending them some stuff.
Shh, you can't say that.
Keeping them busy.
Well, it's not those Disney ones. It's not the Parallel Bars Disney. It's different Disney.
The other Disney.
Other
There are not
Disney.
too many Disneys.
The other.
Well, that's why I didn't say that's why I said the other Disney. There's only the one in the U.S.
Well,
No, there's two.
actually, no. They could be getting it from the one in Paris or something, or the one in
Yeah.
Japan.
Imports.
Imports.
Well,
the mouse might pay more for imports.
Well, I guess I'll give my last thing that I think is interesting. I went on a trek to Alliance, Ohio, to go get a look at the Spirit, the Union Pacific 1943.
Congratulations.
And it was really the stuff on the way that made the entire trip worth it. Like, we got to stop at the Orville Rail Historical Society, which is an organization that's not what it used to be, far from what it used to be, but they do have a very nice collection. Like with their Jeep 7 and military Alco. And we followed the Norfolk Southern Fort Wayne line the entire way there, which had nothing, which the entire line's cab signaled and full of position lights from the former Pennsy days. I'm dropping some pictures.
Which had nothing, no trains.
We did get it when we got to Alliance. We got a train coming off the Fort Wayne line with
Standards.
CSX power, nonetheless.
Cool.
Nice.
And here's one with the two Jeeps that were sitting there in Orville.
I like this. Like, we should put some cool signals next to the station. Yeah? How should we set them up? I don't know. Just put them wherever.
Okay. And the last
Let's
picture,
not have them pointing at the train.
and the last picture I have which isn't great. But
Oh,
it shows what it is nonetheless. Maybe present to you the NS066, otherwise known as the 1943 Foam Fest. I'd never seen so many rail fans out in my life for an SD70 Ace.
Ugh, it looks.
Yeah, how many were there?
I mean, it had the train with it, so
I
that's
went
kinda
to
cool.
Alliance. I counted 1, 2. I think maybe 15 people were in Alliance.
Jeez.
That's when you go out to the middle of nowhere.
What a bunch of
Take
foamers.
Yeah, I did. We drove out to this private road crossing where it had an open shot on a curve. We were the only 3 rail fans there.
Yeah, because you weren't supposed to be there.
No, the people who actually live there said, "Go right the fuck ahead." Pardon my
Okay.
language.
Hey, family show.
And right after that, a car came by saying, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" We're waiting on a special passenger train to go by. Okay, cool. I guess we'll park the car and come by and see it. So 3 people come out.
You just randomly inducted a couple of people.
Then
like, what?
another 4 people came from the other house, and then another 3. Eventually, we're on our side of the tracks.
We're all UP foamers, yeah.
Just 3 rail fans are here trying to take pictures and video. Then on the other side of the crossing, there are 9 people
Holy shit.
who just showed up, wanting to see the train, and one of them actually lost their hat. The train was doing 70 miles an hour by us. We tried to chase it. Let me tell you something, that didn't go well.
Eat my hat.
Eat my hat.
Eat my
hat.
shorts.
You've sucked it into your air intake.
The inspector was looking for his hat. You just saw the thing.
You just saw the thing.
You just saw the thing, said Sir Top Mad. All right, well, I'll be back in about 25 minutes, as long as I'm back.
We're going to try and vamp until Locomotive Urges then.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
See you guys then.
I have nothing else.
Alright, well,
I have
Damn
a
it.
few things.
alright,
Yeah.
Milky, what do you... Just fill up 25 minutes.
Okay, filler.
Because this is filler.
Talk slowly. Remember how you used to go through stuff in, like, record time? Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't go
the
fast.
opposite.
Okay, so I placed 10 new splines. No.
And a partridge in a pear.
But no, the Georgetown Loop area on my route got reworked with new steel bridges, a new highway got put through that goes to the end of the map, so more connections and consumers.
Ew.
And
More truckers.
and I put plenty of shrubbery along the track.
Scrubbery.
A shrubbery!
A strawberry.
But the steel trestle replaced the big wooden trestle that I always take screenshots on. I don't know.
Yes, a
Good
shrubbery!
And it kind of works well with the with the siding in the highway.
Like,
Compared
scroll back
to-
into it.
Compared to wooden trestle girder bricks. Wooden trestle girder bricks.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. Well done.
Thanks. And as for actual pictures I took, I was out at my usual spot. That's definitely not behind the warehouse. It's on public property.
Sketchy.
But I was just down at Queen Avenue watching 1501 Erie Bank.
And you saw
And
the
he-
seagulls.
Has got new paint on the rear end.
Wait,
So
what?
stuff.
If you've ever noticed in my pictures of 1501, there was gray primer in the back.
Do they just repaint this engine like 3 square feet at a time? That's it? Can this that?
No,
that-
they painted over the primer that they were supposed to paint over
Yeah, when? When were they supposed to do
years
it?
ago.
Yeah, exactly. They've been saving
I mean-
up all those square
I mean-
feet.
I mean, at least they primed it. It's better than the TF Green, whatever it was, celebrating 10 years.
Hey,
Yeah.
that was fully painted.
Yeah, it was fully painted a decade late.
Yeah. Well, no, it was fully painted a decade ago.
Mm.
It just hasn't been painted since.
I don't think 1501 had a new paint job on her since 1980, so it's an improvement, kind of.
Hey, this is railroad related.
There's buried here a wild elephant, who in defense of his herd charged and derailed a train on 17th day of September in 1894.
That's good.
Okay.
Good stuff.
I don't know.
Get to the elephant.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Woo,
Cool.
woo, elephant. I'm not really sure how to react to that one.
I was an employee, I might finish the job. But, yeah.
Finish
just
painting.
randomly. So, with permission, of course, from people. But anyways, I saw the P&W SWAT train again at the museum, which is always a good sign because it's one of about 4 trains that use the Oregon Electric division between Portland and Eugene.
But it wasn't a rock.
It's not just a boulder. It's a
So,
rock. A rock.
that's not a train, it's the walk train.
That soldier's
That train is a
But
rock.
typical power on it is 2 cheapy 39s and an SD9.
power.
It's just interesting.
That's kind of
And
weird.
then while I was on my way back to the Amtrak station to go hop on the bus, I hear a few horns honking. And it's this UP power move going south.
Oh my god.
And there was about
Cool.
12 different engines on it.
Wow.
This is the power.
Yeah.
Power.
Goodness gracious.
I
Hey, it's
think
one of those weird things with like the bit that extends past the rear fins. I don't remember what it's called, but I remember seeing one before.
What?
SD70 or some kind, I forget.
I want to say that it's
Yes.
a 90 Mac rebuild.
No, NS has those.
Toaster motive.
UP had a few.
I'm back
Stupid
here for
EZ
15
zones.
minutes. What do you guys need?
You're only
I'm
back
just-
for 15 minutes?
Well, that's how long until dinner's
Okay.
not going to
I
be
thought
ready
you
till.
were going to dinner.
Yeah, I went and apparently it's not ready yet.
Gulag.
Well, I
I-
guess it's time for.
But you know what's better than Gulag? The
I'm not done with
Seattle
my stuff yet.
Seahawks.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
I saw the cap car.
No, actually, they're not.
Can it pass?
I agree.
Yeah,
They
it
suck.
can. It
It
can
did. It
pass.
passed him at the station. So
Yeah.
Good. As long as it
And
doesn't
there's
pass from the
guardrail
1 yard line,
on
it's
it.
fine.
Which was pretty cool.
Oof. Oof.
Learn
Did it throw anything at you?
to pass. Learn to run.
On the 3-yard line, it did. And
Or-
I got it.
Yeah. Learn to pass, or inversely, learn to not pass on the 1 yard line.
If I was on the 3-yard line, but oh well.
No, it's more.
Yeah.
It's more. You know,
Uh,
get good. This is how
Same
you lose.
difference.
This is how you lose.
You
Get
lose.
nothing.
That's how you go.
You lose. You get nothing. Good,
Good
day, sir.
Okay, now I need to complain.
Okay.
Also, I may point out that the MBTA is the MBTA, and it's funny because there's an article that we're going to get to later where Metro derailed, and it looked kind of rough. A couple of cars came off the track and sort of jackknifed a little bit, but
Like Metro North?
no, Metro.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
And I looked at it and I went, oh, that's bad. Like, that's bad news for Metro. Like, that's pretty rough. If I'd heard about
Mhm.
the MBTA doing that, I would have been like, normal Tuesday. I'm not entirely sure why, but, you know. Anyway, coming home on this past Friday, but the one before that, had a great time on the train. And by great time, I mean... So I get down to the platform at Back Bay, and I'm waiting for my train, which normally comes in at 4:35, and I'm waiting, and we're all waiting, and We continue to wait, and apparently there was something that went wrong with an engine, delayed a bunch of trains. This train got late into South Station, so they were late turning it around, so it was late getting back to us by like 25 minutes, which is already pretty rough. So when it's about to come in, they also announced that the next train is coming in at the same time on the other platform. So there's track 1 and track 3, which are the same platform, just opposite sides. My train goes all the way to Wickford Junction. I have to go to TF Green, which is one station shy of that. The other train, which is coming at the same time, goes down the exact same line, but it only goes to Providence. It doesn't get all the way to my station. So I was like, okay, I have to get on my train anyway. It's probably gonna be crowded as hell. This platform is super crowded because it's rush hour. It's all the people that are waiting to get on the train that's late, plus this other train that's about to show up anyway. And I'm like, please let the other train show up like 1 minute beforehand, because I know every single person on this platform is gonna get on the train that comes first. No matter what. No matter what. And I'm thinking the other train is gonna be empty in comparison, whichever train that is. But my train shows up first, pulls into the platform. I see everybody in the platform shift and start piling into the doors. I'm like, all right, well, I have no choice. I'll just get on. And so I get on and I squeeze my way to like the back of the train so I can look out the window of the cab car, because why not? It's a place where there's a little bit of room. And I'm watching everyone cram into the train, and I'm looking, and I see the other Providence train coming in, and I'm going, you idiots! Just wait! Just wait! That one's empty, I swear! It has to be! But everyone piled on this train.
You fool!
Then we both leave Back Bay, go to the next station, which is Ruggles. We pull up at Ruggles, of course, we get there a little bit first, everybody piles into our train more, and then the next train, and then the other train pulls in on the other platform, because it's 3 tracks here. It's 1 that's usually northbound and 2 that are southbound. And so we're on the 2 southbound tracks. I'm the outer track, this other train's on the middle track. We're both going south. I'm looking at them out of the window. And we continue going, and we get to Reedville, which we don't stop at Reedville. But it's where it narrows from 3 tracks to 2.
Oh boy.
And guess what? The other train passed us. And so, not only are we getting later, everyone that got on our train, because it was 1 minute before the other train, just got screwed. And in the back of my mind, I'm going, ha! You did this to yourselves. I didn't have a choice. But you made the bad decision to not wait 1 more minute. And so then we're sitting at Reedville for like at least 10 or 15 minutes because we're waiting to merge, and there are other things on the line because it's rush hour, and also because there's Amtrak. And so we had to let like an Acela go by and some other crap and some trains that were coming off at Reedville because there's a junction there. And then finally we get to go. And we get to the next station, which is Route 128. And Route 128 is just the 2 tracks, just northbound and southbound. We pull into Route 128, we're waiting, we're loading passengers, unloading passengers, and another train pulls up on the northbound track. They're coming south, but they pull up, they come up behind us, they cross over, and they pull into the other platform. And I'm standing in the back where like the brake equipment is, so I can't see them. There isn't a window on that side. But I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why is this other train here? And then we both leave at the same time, and we're pacing each other. And I'm, in the back of my mind, I'm going, no, not sweet. Because I'm going, if these guys are going to Providence too, if this is the other Wickford Junction bound train, the one that's supposed to be an hour after the one that I normally get on, if this is the other Wickford Junction bound train that is A, caught up to us, and B, going to pass us, I'm going to kill somebody.
Did you kill somebody?
So, no. Also, this was a day where I had debated staying the extra hour at work or not, and decided, no, I'll just leave early. Or not leave early, but I'll leave on time, and, whatever. I organized my day around leaving at 4:30 instead of leaving at 5:30. So I could have taken the later train, which that comes into later. This is not the Providence-bound train. Thankfully, we passed Canton Junction, which is a junction, and they peel off and go east, and we continue going south.
Wait, How does it go
And
east?
so then
There's the weird.
Into
goes off and goes east. There's a junction
No,
there.
How
that's
does
the
it
weird
go
part.
No, I'm picturing this line in my head, and it's like, okay, wait, east of this, there's like an ocean about a mile that way.
Yeah, but there's no. It's not a mile that way. We are not super inland, but we're inland. It only runs like 3 stations that way. It goes Canton Junction, Canton Center, and then Stoughton,
Oh.
and then ends there. Which they're trying to build an extension. They're trying to rebuild an extension that way, which will take it like to the like Martha's Vineyard Sound
Right.
area.
Is that the weird
Uh,
part of Massachusetts
but-
that sticks out?
Yeah, well, Cape Cod is the weird part that sticks out, but this is like the south coast of Cape
Oh,
Cod
okay.
a little bit. It's not that far. It's not that far east, but it is in Massachusetts, and it's on the southern coast of Massachusetts,
Cool.
basically.
More
Anyway,
commuter rail.
I digress. Yeah, no, honestly, it is cool. I've looked at like living over there in the not so distant future because it would provide me access to Boston, maybe a little bit shorter time frame. And property will be super cheap because that's like Fall River and New Bedford, which are super ghetto. But I'm not fazed by that. I just want, cheap rent. So anyway, they peel off, and I'm like, okay, thank God they're not going to pass us. They're not going to slow us down. We're just going to keep going. We're gonna get there eventually. And meanwhile, at this point, I think I was texting my dad saying like, all right, we're going to get in at this time. And then we get delayed more, and I have to be like, okay, no, wait, pick me up later than that. And at one point I just said, you know what, I'll just text you when we get to Providence and tell you, like, we're 10 minutes away. But we coming through Attleboro and South Attleboro, which are the last 2 stations before Providence, and the engineer comes on the radio and says, so I just got word from the dispatcher that we're going to be terminating the train at Providence, and if you're continuing on to TF Green and Wickford Junction, you're going to need to get off, and there's going to be another train coming on track 1. You'll wait for it and you can take it. Which is, like I said, that is the train that runs an hour later than the one that I usually take, and the one that I would have taken if I'd stayed the extra time at work, if I had gone for lunch instead of eating lunch at my desk. So I made the choice between having a bagged lunch and a turkey and cheese sandwich that I made the night before, or going out to eat like a Panera Bread, and I chose the bagged lunch because I wanted to get home earlier. F me, right?
No thanks.
So then we pull in, and of course we can't pull in on track 2 because that would be too convenient. That would be on the same platform as track 1. We pull in on track 3, which Providence goes 2 and 1 share a platform, then 3 and 5, and then 7 is the first track. And the reason it's like that, the reason it's like that is because when the New Haven did their numbering, they made it so that tracks that are on the side of the northbound track are even numbered, and tracks that are on the side of the southbound track are
okay.
odd numbered.
That
I mean,
makes
at least
sense.
there's some.
So-
at least there's some meaning to the
Yeah, no,
madness.
they didn't make it up. They didn't. It isn't.
But
just
why is
random,
there no track 4?
Bingo machine, because there's not a track on
Oh,
that
okay.
side. It's just the northbound track and then southbound track, and then on the side of the southbound track, there's 2 more station tracks, and then the freight track. Which is
Oh,
Providence.
gotcha. Okay.
G&W.
Okay.
Anyway,
Weird.
but it pulls us in on track 3, so we have to, and myself and a kid who's traveling alone, and a super pregnant woman, among many other passengers, file out of the train, go up
Pregonate.
to the station concourse, go to the other side of the
Prego.
concourse, and go back down to the other platform to wait for the train that I would have taken otherwise.
Pregnant?
And then finally it comes and gets us, and takes us to where we're supposed to be. And I get there, pretty much exactly an hour late, and I'm going, why didn't I have a decent lunch? But, yeah, I love the MBTA.
Beautiful.
Hey, at least you have commuter rail there.
Oh yeah.
I know. Well, that's the thing. It's like, it's pricey and it's delayed, but it is still better than driving. And as long as it's better than driving,
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
happy.
Yeah. Hey, Kasich, if you're watching this,
Yeah.
Commuter rail.
Message.
your chum.
Kasich.
Jesus.
Regardless
anyway.
of if you're watching this or not,
Yeah.
chum. But
That time
Oh,
of
you
the
know what it is,
podcast
Joe?
again.
Gordon Ramsay's commuting
I still have
nightmares.
stuff.
Uh,
Oh boy.
do you have still? Who
Me,
still has stuff? You do?
Ah, damn.
Oh yeah. I'm talking about your stuff.
job.
All
Sorry.
right. Well, I'll start with what I was doing today. Yeah,
Melting.
went to the Ohio Rail Museum for the first time since Ghost Trolley, for my first normal operating day.
He was spooked by the ghost trolley and didn't go back.
Too spooky for him.
Yeah, sure.
Pretty spooky if I...
I got spooked so hard. Anyway,
Four spooky. 6
what
me.
was it? Yeah, I was there for my first normal operating day. Went pretty well.
Except for the melting part.
Yeah, went pretty well. I was assigned in car 64 as sort of a tour guide.
Nice.
Oh,
Doing
Yeah.
like a docent type thing.
oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
did
I
that,
found a
too.
I found a picture of Jader during the day.
Oh
Is it just melted? Is it just melted chocolate ice cream? Please tell me it's just a picture of melted chocolate ice cream.
No, it's become toast from I Am Bread.
Become toast. Good.
anyway, yeah, I was sort of a docent in a 64 and 2. I don't have a wait. I think I have a picture of 2.
Yeah. On Saturday, I was a docent, conductor, and motorman. All at the same time. It was great.
So
Supposed to be engineer this weekend, but then 346 decided she didn't like her check valve anymore and went blech.
Skype crashed.
You're good.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
still here.
Can never forgive you.
Right. Anyway,
Continue.
great day except for the melting part.
Ooh.
Hopefully next time I go back, I can maybe start brakeman training. Yay, that'd be fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ohio Public Service Company.
Uh,
I need to go look this up in the trolley directory.
okay.
Oh, what? Does it have museums on there?
No, the Ohio Public
Oh,
Service
okay.
Company that the thing was originally
Right.
from. Continue. I will be right back.
All right.
After
Let's
these
see.
messages.
Let's see here. Model railroad stuff. I ran my grad gifts to myself at the club last Thursday,
Nice.
and I decided to do a doubleheader. It worked pretty.
A green
It worked
doubleheader.
pretty much flawlessly. Like I was
Awesome.
shocked.
Did you have them consisted? Or were
No,
you
well,
doing...
wait. Yeah, I hadn't consisted.
Oh,
Cheating.
you were cheating. That's cheating.
I
Cheating.
know.
No, it's not. That is the thing that I am impressed about, that they just worked.
Okay,
consistent.
I'm impressed that they
As
weren't
opposed to one
consistent.
was-
That
Me
in
too.
and of itself is impressive, but it's still cheating.
Yeah.
It
It's
is.
not cheating.
Steam
Well,
engine's the double
it's
header.
not
You have
cheating.
to like have the throttle, notch one up, then tab over to the other
Okay,
one, notch
for-
it up,
for
tab
steam
notch,
engines-
tab notch, tab notch. That's how you double head with steam engine.
For steam engines, yeah. Okay. I'll because I do that anyway because my steam engines are not speed matched
Right.
in the least.
Let's see. I mean,
Uh,
these are.
Diesels you can MU. Steam engines you actually have to have some kind of coordination between them.
Yeah. I mean, these were speed matched, except the what was it? The 722 has a lot more momentum. So like I'd stop, 4501 stops, and maybe like I don't know a foot or so. 722, it just the wheels are just slipping like nothing, trying to stop.
Momentum.
Just turn down the momentum.
Yeah, I
that
need
one.
to whenever I run them together.
I do love
Yeah,
momentum.
it's fun stuff.
All right, guys, I'll be back. My Father's Day dinner is ready. I'll be back in like 20.
Okay.
If someone if it's necessary, someone could take my spot in Loco versus.
Okay. Great.
Wait, how is it your father's dinner? You're not a dad.
Yeah.
Welcome over, it's not your son.
Anyway,
I hope.
Yeah.
What was it?
Anything you'd like to tell us, Jader?
No,
Got daddy issues?
no.
Yeah, he wouldn't
Something
like to tell us.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well, actually, he
Baby
is
daddy issues.
secretly a dad.
Correction.
sure.
He is
Anyway.
the dad. I am the dad.
I am the Senate.
I am the Senate.
Anyway, what was it? Last Wednesday, I put decoders in a Bachmann Plus 8 F7 A and B set that a guy from the Kokosing Club gave me to put DCC in.
Oh, hey, there's
Yeah.
skaters.
I finally got around to buying decoders for him. It took me a lot longer than I expected because they're so old. They only had power pickups on one side of the truck. So I had to go, create other power pickups, but whatever metal that the pickups are made of does not take solder like at all. And I don't have any flex because I'm a cheap man. So it was really
Don't
hard.
even flex.
No, flux.
Yeah, I know you said flex.
No, I use flex tape.
Flex
I
tape!
sawed this boat in half.
Cut in half.
Jeez. I wonder if that would work at the museum to fix some stuff that, fix a roof on something.
Oh, I'm sure it
I don't know,
would.
maybe. Wild, have you used flex tape? Does
At
it
the
work?
museum?
Yeah.
He fixed his
No,
broken home with
I
it.
have worked at home with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me about that.
We rubberized. Actually, it wasn't the flex tape. It was the stuff in a can. We rubberized a spoon with it.
Like
Wait,
seal.
rubberize this. Tell me about it later. Okay.
This is really potent stuff. We made our toaster dance with it. Anybody can name the movie, I will be very happy.
I
I
cannot
don't
name
know.
the movie, unfortunately.
Dang. It's the second Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Oh, really? Damn
It's
it.
like the goo they poured in the toaster and play music and it like pings around.
Yeah.
I need to find this clip.
Let's see here. And I also did, on my layout, I started doing scenery again. Bought some, bought some grass, ballast, and everything, and I bought the value pack of super trees, so I can start making some trees. Because the ready-made trees are overly expensive, and using the way I was trying to make trees with the plastic tree armatures or real twigs just wasn't working. Like,
I have only seen one person pull off using real twigs for trees.
it
in their
works. You just need a very, very fine branch structure, which I have none of that here.
Well, no. It wasn't even necessarily for that. That's true,
Yeah.
though. But it was, for a layout that was modeling not green.
Oh, okay.
It was a layout that was modeling, November.
Oh, okay. That would work.
Yeah. It's the layout that models the Allagash.
Oh, yeah. I've
Oh,
seen
the
that.
tourist railroad.
Yeah. Well, no, the model railroad of it.
Yeah.
Not really a tourist railroad.
Also, steam locomotive.
Running, yeah.
But yeah, you just,
Also, are these the what do you call them?
yeah, they're
super
called
trees?
super trees. They're pretty nice. I like them. I need to make more.
Should call them speed trees.
Yeah, sure. They're speed trees.
Can I get a tree spline for real
Please.
life?
That would make it so much easier to plant trees. But
Well, we need a
Subaru mode.
we need how they have like cards where you open them and like it's like a pop up where it unfolds
Uh-huh.
into something. We need that.
that would actually be
sort of
sweet
thing.
for like a background. That'd be
Yeah.
sweet. I need to make that. Could make money out of that.
Yeah.
What was it? Poured a
You could make-
resin.
You could make
Was
a
it
business
poured a
out of
resin?
this.
Poured a resin river. Didn't get any resin going off the side of the table, so that was nice.
It's always good.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I don't have a picture of it
Nice.
handy, but the lake I poured, like,
Lakeport Drive.
no, but the lake I put like last October, I think. I dripped a little bit. Actually, you can kind of see it in this picture. I got a little bit of resin going off the table, and it's just there, and I'm not really sure how to remove it.
God, that's a lot of potholes.
A lot of potholes. Welcome to
It's
Ohio.
a country road. It's where you maintain.
Contraro to the place.
No, I know. My new favorite version of Country Roads is the one in the Fallout
I
76
agree. It
trailer.
is very nice.
I love
I need to
it.
look it up when we're done.
There isn't a full version that I know
There
of.
isn't. Trust me, I looked. It was the first thing I looked for after I saw the trailer, and there isn't one. At least not yet.
I want it so
Shook.
bad. Yeah, shook.
Yeah, I did some seeing.
Very
I hope I
nice
can.
work, trader.
Nice.
Even modeled potholes.
Yep. I still need to go back and weather the road. That's way too shiny.
Shiny.
Yeah.
And potholey.
No, I'm gonna keep the
No, it's not
potholes.
too potholy.
Okay, good.
It's accurately potholy.
Well, no, maybe I'll put like
Urban-
a guy, I'll put a guy
urban
next to the
road
road
maintenance,
fixing his
that's
tire or
JPEG.
something.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Do that. I came upon the scene of a legitimate accident last night. That was a little bit.
Oh.
Like a fender
Shocking.
bender or more
Yeah.
than that.
It's not even like dude came off the ramp for the not highway, but it's this
Mhm.
interchange, and just railed his
Ouch.
Mustang
I
into
thought
the
that was
back of two
going
parked
somewhere
cars.
else.
Ooh.
No. Yeah, and he was fine. Nobody was in the parked cars, but he like totally effed up his Mustang. The first car he hit was literally sideways,
Jesus.
and the
Ouch.
second car was a little bit roughed up too. Yeah, no, they were blocking one lane of a rather major road, but it was like 12 o'clock. Either way, I pulled over. This is totally unrelated to everything. If you want me to shut up, I will.
That's okay because I
But, you know,
would.
waiting for Jake.
semi-
If
well,
this
thanks,
is
sorry.
filler.
Yeah.
I'm
But
out of
this
stuff.
is just I haven't been able to tell anyone about this because it happened last night. I really haven't like been talking to anybody. But yeah, no, that was a little bit rough. So I pulled over, and of course the one time I don't have my high vis vest, I pulled over and I pointed because there was only one lane of the road left open. So I pulled into a side street, pointed the headlights of my car at the accident, and then stood out there directing traffic through this one lane section while we waited for the cops to show up. So I was like, everyone's okay. I'm here now though, so I guess I'll be useful. And I don't want to see another collision happen because
It's okay.
of this.
I had a close call today. Pulling out the street.
That could have gone elsewhere too.
Yeah. Yeah, be careful when you're
Yeah.
pulling out. Don't be silly. Cover your willy.
Don't be
Okay,
a
there
chubby
was
rubber
about-
stump before you pump.
I said that was
Yeah.
like 5 seconds. Like,
Yeah, it's
Too
that
quick.
how long you lasted? Yeah. Yeah.
Would make a
5
joke,
seconds
but
there
I don't
would
want
have been
to
me.
offend the person.
But anyways, all went well in the end. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
encountered my first blinking yellow traffic light the other day.
What, ever?
Yeah.
Dude.
I never had one.
Wow. There's
Huh.
there's like 2 lights in my town that they they blink yellow and red at night
Yeah.
and during the summer.
Yeah.
I actually,
Yeah,
you know
we
what?
have this.
I answered a question about that literally yesterday because I was asked by one of Madison's younger brothers.
Actually, why
like-
do that?
What do traffic
why
lights
do
do
they
at
do
night?
that?
Basically.
What do traffic lights do
Because
at
they're-
night? Do they go to sleep?
Well, no, but like a legitimate, do they, do they power down or whatever?
Chaos mode.
Well, no, it's there is in fact a statute when it comes to a traffic light that has no lights on,
There it
and
is.
you treat it as a all-way
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, that's true out here too.
So it's not just chaos. But it was some lights do that because there isn't enough traffic at night, or it isn't worth it to operate the light like that at night. Now this matters less when you have more modern lights that are actuated, that are that change because of the presence of cars and nothing else. But lights that otherwise operate on a timer, you're better off making them flashing during the night because you don't have enough traffic to need a traffic light, and you don't want to have people sitting at reds unnecessarily.
Right.
Yeah, we have a mix of different areas of traffic lights here.
Same here.
And you usually will.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you see any ones with the small heads, you'll know that they're They're
Oh,
old.
we just have the
and probably
was it the hanging yellow ones, and then the
Yeah, we have a
newer
few of those.
the newer like black, I guess metal or aluminum ones.
Those important in elections, particularly the Bush-Al Gore election. The hanging yellow ones.
I don't know.
Never mind. Dead joke.
It died in
a
2000.
little 18 years
I
late.
was riding the train today, and the conductor told some good, bad
Memes.
railroad jokes,
Dang.
but good dad jokes.
Oh no.
No. Oh boy.
And jokes that like a 5-year-old would die laughing at. Like how does a train? eat
What's a
sandwich?
milepost?
I saw a milepost
We
Did
don't-
you know what it was?
the other day.
Oh,
I
you're
did.
prepared.
Well, actually, it wasn't a milepost. It was, and it looked like it was legitimately spray painted onto the side of this arch. Which Mattis and I were looking at a place with we're looking to find a place with less light pollution so we could see a more starry sky. And
Move over here.
Together.
we found it. I mean, we could just go to South County, but we didn't feel like driving that far. But we found a place on the water, which wasn't all that much better. It was much, it was better, but there were still some annoying lights on docks and stuff. But to get to it, we had to walk underneath this super sketchy arch, which is holding up the Northeast Corridor. Which looks like it was probably built when they built the line originally.
I wouldn't be
And
surprised.
yeah, and we were walking up to it walking under it, and on the side of the arch is painted 170 point dot blah blah, and I'm like, huh, that's miles from New York.
On the
It was just kind
on
of
the
funny.
Astoria district, on the P&W near Astoria, they have mileposts on the bricks. Milepost 200 something point whatever.
No defects.
What does it measure
Pete.
from Sacramento?
No
No defects.
No, it's actually from Portland because of BN.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
No defect.
I figured it was either BNSF or BN or SP. I didn't.
And I.
A while back, I was 700 miles from San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's more like it.
Because the world revolves
You guys are-
around
distances
San
are
Francisco,
far.
if you didn't know.
Distances are
SP
far.
headquarters.
What
Yep.
is it?
I
That's
thought it was in
why-
L.A.
That's why west is
West is east. What?
south
you said
is
west.
east, north is west.
Jeez.
makes
Relative
sense.
to because SP have their own direction system.
Wasn't that's true of most? I want to say if that's not true of most railroads, then most railroads are opposite because there is a standard somewhere for. There are only 2 cardinal directions according to the railroads.
And it's relative to headquarters.
Yeah.
So southbounds were technically eastbounds on SP.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
North is wait.
Wait,
North would be west, right?
yeah.
Okay.
That's the other thing. So yeah, I mentioned the east or the northbound and southbound tracks for the New Haven, except the New Haven really went east to west.
Oh.
So, yeah. Also, I'm not sure. I assume they measured miles from New York City. I guess I measured miles from New York City because it'd be kind of awkward to measure miles from New Haven, being in the middle of the railroad.
Yeah. Although, you say that.
Well, where's
The other awkward one is, okay, how do you measure mileposts from a position that's, halfway through the railroad? Because then you have 2 mileposts 50 or 2 mileposts 60 or whatever. I consider the Rio Grande, and I'm still not really sure how they did this because they have mileposts going south on the line that they built, and then they also have mileposts leaving Denver going towards Salt Lake on the one that they bought. So what happens when you go from your start point, but you go in 2 different directions? What are your mileposts then?
Well, no, it's probably
Still.
wait.
Well, how did they do it?
Actually,
Do
I
you
can't
know?
even remember. I do know it counts up
Oh.
on the old line. I don't know what they did until Dutsero on the DNSL line. Knowing the Rio Grande, they probably just had duplicate mileposts.
Nice.
Routes,
I
standard
wouldn't be that
gauge,
surprised.
Moffat X DNSL.
Ooh, and be even more confused, the SP milepost and DNRGW milepost.
Yeah, then what
Wait.
milepost do you use?
Yeah.
Although then you could have it be division based, because
That
at
would
that
make
point
sense,
your-
like-
at that point your
like-
railroad covers the entire western half of the U.S. You're spanning from Denver to California and quite a bit in between.
That would
Yeah.
make sense. Like I'm at milepost 10 on this division, whatever, and that's different from milepost 10 on another one. That would make sense.
That's how SP had them towards the end.
Nope, they literally did just have duplicates.
That doesn't surprise
Hey.
me.
They
Okay.
counted
Come on.
up from 0 going west of Denver, and then counted up from 0 going south of Denver. And where the two lines met, I think they just chose. It just
Fuck
skipped
it.
from whatever the lower number was up to the higher number, and they became the same.
Oh, okay.
You people.
Didn't know that. But the more you know, I guess.
I mean, what do you do? we even had that problem on the Horseman.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah.
Because Chris was doing the mile posting, and he's like, "So wait,
So
what do we do?"
what are we doing
Uh,
here?
And you mile post through the old main, but the other routes are shorter. So when you get to Troy, it just skips.
Yeah. Yes.
Fun. Anyway, I kind of wish.
Yeah,
Jake
if
was
Jake
here.
doesn't get back really soon, I'm actually gonna have to go to dinner.
Really?
I forgot
God damn
Father's
it.
Day was a thing.
I mean, I didn't forget Father's Day was a thing, but my dad.
I went
Yeah,
to breakfast.
well, we did all the Father's Day stuff earlier, but apparently we're also doing a big dinner on top of
Oh, boy.
brunch and all that. So
Yeah, it's always nice to go out to eat.
yeah,
Dad and I went out
Yeah.
to breakfast, and that was about it.
I don't know. I mean, I know he's coming back
Ellis is meanwhile checking to make sure that his dad is alive.
alive. Yeah. Well, honestly, he took his golf clubs with him, so I think I know where he is.
He's scuba diving.
Yeah.
Good.
No, he's out filming.
Waking and entering?
And he was like, "You can." He texted me, "You can come down," and then I woke up sort of later than I wanted to, and was like, "I don't feel like driving, and I don't have a full tank of gas." I would have to get gas to come down there. I don't feel like going in the water, and like.
Get gas. Get good.
I don't know. Yeah, no, too far.
Money!
Yeah. I mean, I get paid now.
Yeah,
but,
you do.
You know,
Yeah, how much are you making, like, as an entry level? What are you, a traffic engineer? Like,
Yeah.
I'm legitimately curious.
a little bit north of.
That's not
60K.
bad for entry
Good.
level.
For an
Yeah.
apartment or for a
Yeah.
house?
No, that's how
Oh.
much I make.
Nice.
Yes, that is good.
Uh,
Sorry, I thought we were still talking about you. Oy! Ow.
I don't think you measure apartments in the like.
In the salary.
In that, and it's 60K for a house. I would be
Yeah.
concerned.
See, yeah.
I'd be
Sketch.
very skeptical at that price.
Yeah,
So what's the
60K for a-
catch?
it's full of bees.
Full of bees. It's 683.
Let's see. What was I gonna
And
say?
I'm
Oh
full
yeah.
of bees.
Question for y'all. So I'm trying to decide on a layout to do for my college dorm.
Okay.
Should I do N scale or like sort of do what you do, Wild, like HON? What do you do? HON2?
I did HON 30 in the dorm,
Oh, okay.
but
Like, do you
at my
recommend it, or
actual
should I just go N scale?
I enjoyed it. The biggest thing I found is you have less time than ever to work on a layout.
Yeah, I was gonna give some wisdom like that. You know, like
Hang on.
if you think of building a
Well,
railroad.
no, I'd just do
Maybe.
something small. But yeah, Like,
Maybe
should I
do
do
a monitor
HON2 or
where-
whatever? I don't. I might do that. Like, do a little
I don't
switching module or something.
Yeah,
Just
well, I
a
mean,
normal HO.
literally, I had a super basic base level layout that was a foot by like 2 feet, and I barely made any progress on it.
Hmm.
So, college, you have bigger fish to fry than model railroading,
Yeah.
honestly. If you do want to do modeling, what I would suggest is bring up your tools and stuff to kit bash and paint and just work on engines.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of.
Build up a good fleet, get some DCC installs, get some sound installs done, do some detailing, do some paint, do some
Maybe go
weathering.
to a model railroad club every now.
Because the other one with that stuff is it's very zen.
True.
And then
Yeah.
last little bit, and then I have to run for dinner. The other one with layouts that you don't really consider in college is it makes a big mess to do scenery, terraforming, painting,
That's true.
anything.
It does.
Yeah, and if you're sharing the space with somebody else, that was the biggest issue I ran into was the foam shavings going everywhere, the paint being messy to clean up, having to have paper plates and cups and spoons and popsicle sticks and screwdriver sets and all the stuff that you kind of take for granted at home. You're suddenly
Okay.
without them, and it becomes rather difficult to do at a dorm.
Okay.
So I will be back hopefully before the podcast is over.
I know. I'll think of something. Thanks for the input.
Wait. Can you push us into the next section?
Welcome, motherfuckers!
We're gonna do this. Jada, you're gonna fill the place of your fellow
All right.
Ohioan.
What did he choose?
We're doing the. Hold on.
We're doing
It's
an old
the right part of the
boy.
document. Yeah, we're doing one of the ones out of the locomotive versus list. So that means down in the comments, if you have an idea for locomotive versus, we are accepting them. We're accepting just one though.
Also, I fixed.
And
the
we also were
links
looking for
to them while you were talking.
Oh, good, thank you. We're also looking for contenders for KCS 503 and a contender for the UP 1623 class. Those are 2 open slots that have been there for a while. Anyway, okay, so in one corner, which I'm going to be representing because nobody else wants to. Trust me, I really don't either. But
I have other options.
in one corner is the Union Pacific Challenger, everyone's favorite thing.
Unless
I
you
guess.
want to make this a freeway, but no.
Well, it's okay, but
It's not gay.
not into that. Yeah. Alright, here, get a picture of the UP Challenger as if nobody knows what it looks like. And in the other
UP
corner,
Challenger.
We have the
Later.
Norfolk and Western Class A.
Ooh. I had both of these engines in my intro for this.
yes, just go back to the beginning of the podcast instead of looking
Yeah.
right here.
Call back to the beginning of the podcast.
Alright.
But anyway.
Alright, Milky,
Oof.
because you're the only other person here, you
Um,
get to decide who goes first.
mm,
Let's see if I can get comfortable here.
No.
Shut up.
NW boy.
Okay. What is
Okay.
your loco base ID?
I give up. My loco base ID, so I'm gonna do 3985, which is the 4664-3 and 4.
Okay.
So my loco base ID is 341.
300.
Oh, seriously? God damn it.
Ooh.
If yours was 301,
I was like, yeah, that's a pretty low one. I think I would.
If
with
yours
that one.
was
Fantastic.
301.
We're doing
I mean, yeah. Okay.
Well, you win, so
All right.
continue.
How many were built? Wait, no.
No, too late. You asked at 45.
Damn it.
45.
43.
Seriously? Seriously? 43? Why would you build 43
I don't
in an
know.
engine? That's
Like,
so weird.
45 is a nice number.
45 is a nice number. Even like 42 would be better because it's like, okay, we made 2 prototypes. Or 41, it's like we made 1 prototype. Who makes 3 prototypes and then a
I don't know.
What the hell? What the hell, NW? Get it together.
No.
Alright,
Can't get it together if you're dead.
Okay, we'll see. I don't even know what I'm good at. we've trashed this engine before, so let's do that. Looks
It's the
respectable.
rolling dumpster at this point.
Yeah.
No, that's
Oh god,
Thomas.
I don't want to touch that. I'm scared. Oh god. Boiler pressure.
300.
God damn it! I knew you were gonna say that. All right, it's 280.
So, okay.
It's like it's gonna be 300. I'm gonna die.
What's your minimum weight of rail?
112.
Damn, it's 120.
Wait,
Yeah,
seriously?
120.
Ouch.
All right, I will
I'm
take
a
that
fat
point.
boy.
I know who
Take
could have
that
done
point.
better, but I'm not going to say his name.
Oops, I forgot to give myself the point for.
You should have
actually-
chose one of. No, you should have done
winning the
the
thing.
early Yuku challengers. Those are cool.
Wait, how many have you done?
Uh,
How many have you won? Do you have
uh,
2 points or 3?
Well, I did
Two.
post Cheston in earlier, but
Two.
that got turned.
Okay,
So,
that's what I did. I screwed up who to give the point for the amount
oh,
of things. Tractive effort.
125,897 pounds.
Holy cow.
here's some pictures.
97,352 pounds.
Actually, I put
I'll leave
some
dr-
angles.
I'll drag you away with drag marks.
Well, this thing might be able to beat the L105.
We should have done that.
No, because then Weibold gets involved, and then everything loses.
Oh, I booked that didn't.
Alright.
So,
Yeah, but then he's gonna be like, I couldn't represent it, so blah blah blah.
Wow.
He would get upset if we did the L105 without
True.
him. But I know he's not gonna listen to the
WP
podcast, so...
chapter curb.
Nobody tell him we were bad-mouthing him, okay? Nobody tell him anything.
I'll text him right now.
No. I'll text him
I'll
not to
tell
listen to you.
WP challenge that we've done better here.
Any other challenger would have done better
Should have
here.
done the DNH ones.
Alright, Jader, continue.
I'm here.
Hi.
I
Okay,
can
never mind.
Who can I
Jake,
replace?
Continue. You're up 3
Of
to 2.
course I am. It's N and W.
All right then, tag. You're it.
All
Tag
right.
team. So,
what questions have we done so far? Catch me up.
We did loco base ID.
We did
boiler
loco
pressure,
base
we did
ID,
tractive
yeah.
effort.
My
We
very
did
first question.
number built as well.
All right, let me go to the Steam Locomotive link real quick.
Close out of that.
Why isn't it on here anymore?
It's on there.
Oh yeah, we moved it.
What?
That's why.
it,
All right,
Where it
we did
belongs,
Loco Base
son.
ID. What were the other two?
if you need a hero, Alice, I can come in and try and save you.
We did loco base ID, we did number built, we did minimum weight of rail, boiler pressure, and tractive effort.
Hmm.
Do firebox stats.
Firebox area.
602 square feet.
Oh, what? 587.
What?
587.
What?
Ha!
So
Trader.
Five. Thanks,
Yeah, those
Tater!
Tater.
Alright, great area.
Gator.
Great area.
Oh my,
Stuff.
oh my god.
Give. Great area.
Oh my
One-
god. I'm sorry.
Trader, you secretly helped him.
What'd you say?
I said 122.
132. Evaporative heating surface. I'm gonna put it for this.
6,639.
Yep. 4,817. I shouldn't have done that.
Boiler pressure.
We already did that.
Damn it.
Well,
Combined heating service.
God damn it. 7172.
9342.
Yeah. Live it up.
Weight on drivers.
Wait, did I give you the point for? God damn it! We're going too quickly here. Weight on drivers 403,700.
432,350.
Ah, slightly lighter.
mhm.
Engine weight.
Oh my god. 573,000 pounds.
Really?
Yeah, that's.
627,000.
Oh my
Ooh.
god.
Thick.
God
Heavy
damn it.
boy.
What? How did that? How did? What?
How did this happen?
Thick.
UP. Build a better engine.
Yeah, you have a lower weight of rip.
Yeah, he does.
Engine weight 573,000. What was yours again?
Mine was 627,000 pounds.
Okay, I did it good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking here.
Who were you builders?
Norfolk and Western. We built.
Okay.
Yeah, can I have your Alcos?
No,
I feel like Jake would win that.
Yeah.
I would
You
win
home built.
because our Y6s.
That's a different
could-
engine.
Yeah, but
25
does home build actually ever win?
Yes,
Does
our
it?
Y
Yes.
our Y6 is at 25.
No. Because home built. The only time home built ever wins is when it's the Pennsylvania home building it, because it's basically Baldwin.
True.
Definitely not biased.
Definitely not biased at all.
Definitely not.
I don't know.
We keep this bias
And who
free.
wins
If
this?
you can't tell.
Well, here's the thing: is if the Pennsylvania's building them, it means they contracted Baldwin to build them too.
We didn't contract anyone out. All built and run then shops.
Yeah, I get that. Because we always go by
Which is a
ubiquity.
style point.
So it's a style point. It is not a actual point.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway.
Alcos.
Okay. Wait. Let me get something here. What are your cylinders?
Let me find it real quick. What section?
It's under geometry related to tractor.
High pressure cylinders. 24 by
Yeah.
30.
21 by 32. So I have a longer stroke, but not as large of a bore. What do you guys think?
I just spoke for a longer bore.
That's a good question.
Well, you guys were built for freight service, so wouldn't a longer bore help pull?
I don't know. Why would?
I guess, but a wider bore would help too. Like wider bore would help, but longer stroke would also help because it gives you more leverage.
Well, you got 2 inches more of a bore, and he has 1 inch more of a stroke. So,
No, he has 3 inches more of bore than I do, and I have 2 inches more of stroke than he does.
oh, okay. I have
So
them
who wins?
flip-flopped.
So I don't know. I think you win there because you have much higher volume.
Oh yeah.
Really.
Oh
Just-
yeah.
Calcing it out, I'm pretty sure you have higher volume. So
What should I do? Driver diameter.
driver diameter.
Cool.
69.
70.
Damn it! I was avoiding that one because I was afraid it was going to be 70. I was going to do that earlier, and I went, wait, no, this is a bad idea.
Ow.
Well, here's one. What's your minimum weight of rail?
We did that.
Oh, we did.
that.
Dang.
Yeah, we
You
did that. Oh, we didn't.
Factor of adhesion.
Factor of adhesion 4.15.
3.43.
Ooh, that's bad.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's real bad.
Damn it.
Okay. Tender fuel capacity.
Tender. 26.
28.
Oh, they have. Oh yeah, you have big tender.
Yeah, I have a centipede. Okay. Oh god, no, that might be really bad. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. I'm
Stop
losing
drinking.
Okay,
it.
okay, so
Engine wheelbase.
Oh boy, hold on. 60.39.
60.37.
What the fuck?
Yes!
You're 2 inches shorter.
No, it's not 2 inches, it's 2/100ths of a foot.
Oh.
ooh, small.
Yeah.
But not,
Driver
not by
wheelbase.
much.
You know what?
12.33.
12.17. Yay. Slightly smaller because of slightly smaller wheels.
Waberday Machinist Power
I
Competition.
was getting to that. Alright, 36,960.
Check.
What? Which one was it?
Robert Lee Messina's power computation.
It's
It's the first
me-
one.
Oh, it's the first one.
Computations relating to power up.
I'm trying to find it.
Towards the bottom.
I found it. 36,600.
Oh, phew. 36,960. I will take that. Slightly more powerful, boy. Same as above, plus superheater percentage.
47,214.
49,157.
God.
God, this is close. Same as above, but substitute firebox area for gate area.
227,169.
Damn it, 224,185. Damn it,
All right,
I knew
I'm
it.
coming back into this.
I knew it.
Need to find one that will not screw me over.
Good luck.
Tender loaded weight.
Okay, 436,500 pounds.
378,600 pounds.
Your small tender.
Small tender, but advantage for rails and tracks. Tender water capacity.
25,000 gallons.
22,000.
Ah! I was gonna do that one. I was gonna do it earlier, but I decided not to. Okay, let's see. Let us see. Alright, that's a losing proposition. No, I don't want to do that. That's also a losing proposition. Let's finish off the power computations. Power L1.
37,769.
36,424.
And power MT.
Second. Power MT is 1193.48.
1155.54.
Yes. Damn, these edges are close in that respect. Alright, I would like to move to style points. Actually, no,
Okay,
wait, I
let's-
have one more question. I'll
Okay.
probably lose, but I have the question nonetheless. Evaporative heating surface divided by cylinder volume.
211.33.
Ouch! 187.75. That's very good. Alright, well, you can continue if you want to, or we can go to style points.
We can head over to style
Okay,
points.
Okay, Alex has a bigger sand dome, I think,
do I? Yeah,
Well,
it looks
we
like I have
need
more
to.
sand. Your sand domes are kind of small.
and more steep.
And what?
Your steam dome's also big.
Is that good? Oh, wait, does he have two sand domes? No, I have two sand domes. We both have two sand domes. Do I have a bigger steam dome?
Let me look at the pictures. Hold on.
I got some pretty decent side views of them.
Do you have comfy seats?
I've never been in
I don't know if I...
No, that
Yeah, do you
means
have
do you
train
have
line
train
steam?
line steam.
I'm not sure if I have train line steam, actually.
Might.
I might.
I don't know if I do.
I might.
How do I
I don't
would
actually
find
know.
out?
We don't like have a directory of that. We just sort of deduce it from whether the engines were used for passengers or not. Like, I don't think you would. I'm not sure if I would.
The Challengers could be used for passengers, but
Anyway, I don't know. I don't really know why I asked that because I knew we didn't have a conclusive answer.
Style Point, one of your crafts has a smoke deflector.
Ye
It has
smoke deflectors.
Um,
Literal style.
And maybe
we had
you might be good with that when you have these, but
we had roller bearings later in our the newer A classes were built with a roller bearing.
I believe 3985 was built with them.
Yeah. 30. Let's see. Let me see.
Oh wait, another question.
Yarp.
What's your guys' valve gear?
Ooh. 1 second. Let me check to see if we did. Yeah, no, we had. I'm pretty sure we had roller bearings.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, and also apparently, engines could run at 70 miles an hour pulling a 20-car passenger train. So we almost definitely had train line steam, because they were set up to do that. So comfy seats, I will take.
Good.
What did you ask? Oh, valve gear, wall shirts.
Yeah, valve gear.
Baker.
Damn it. F and N and W
Which
with their
one's
Baker.
better?
Baker valve gear.
Okay.
Okay, how many survive?
1, I think.
That's just a prick
Hey,
move.
well, 1 survives, and,
No.
no, how many survive?
2.
2.
Where's the other one?
I think it's a North Craft.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has smoke deflectors,
Yeah.
and it's in the gray
Oh,
paint.
it's in Greyhound?
Yeah,
Okay.
3977, I think it is.
Yeah, 3977. Great old
We have
engine.
couplers that tuck away.
Would use for some Elkabos.
Let's see, what?
This locomotive was owned by a famous locomotive preservationist at one
Good
time.
job.
We were owned by F. Nelson Blount.
Well, he did a great job of staying alive.
Yep.
Too bad he failed, and then the engine got scrapped. So, yeah. No point for you.
But anyways, there's someone with.
No, wait, what do you mean? Got scrapped?
Wait, how many
The 12
survived?
The 12
Oh, 12
ours survived one,
that's right,
but
isn't it?
1218. Yeah,
Okay.
1218 used to be owned by F. Nelson Blount.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that Steamtown. And then the best trade deal in the history of trade deals happened.
What did we
NS
trade? What did VMT trade?
BMP?
VMT.
Drugs.
They didn't trade shit.
just
NS
asked for
traded
it.
shit. They traded a GP9 and an NW2 that is still at Steamtown. Wabash and NKP respectively. But after NS retired the 1218 from their Steam program, they gave it back to BMT.
Guys.
Well, actually, I don't know how BMT even got it.
The
Ow.
4664-4s were delivered as coal burners and renumbered 3975 to 3999. The first 10 were renumbered 3815 to 3824 in 1944, regained their original numbers in 1945 when they were converted to oil burning, were coal burners in 1946, converted to oil burning again in 1949, and renumbered again in 1952.
You want to hear the irony of that? 3985
Yeah,
is oil burning.
3985 is oil burning now. Well, 3985 was one of the ones that remained coal throughout its
At a
career.
point,
And then
your two survivors have two different fuels.
I don't think that's a dial point.
Unless the 3977 stores the oil
It's just
burning.
kinda
parts,
derp.
but-
We have the nicer sounding whistle.
I feel like that's subjective.
It is.
Yeah.
Also,
It's
holy
subjective.
crap, your smokestack is so large you can lose somebody down it. I just noticed that.
Yes.
We have more than one stack, I think. Do we have two? We have two. We should have two.
I
We
think
have two. That's a style point.
And it may have been they only on the big boys, but they had built-in smoke reflectors that you could adjust.
Yeah, we did.
I'm not sure. But big boys did.
Well, I'm surprised that the Challenger has taken the lead 20-13.
Yeah.
I'm taking a look
I
at some
see- I saw
pictures
something.
here.
I'm not going to say anything, but I see a point that you could get.
Ooh, I do too.
2 words, right, Milky?
Yep. Yeah, I see it.
I hate-
let him figure it out.
I hate everything.
Yep.
You got 1 point that you can do.
Oh yeah, and according to one of our recent pictures, we have safety first on the front.
Congrats.
Okay.
Oh,
Safety.
that was it.
No.
No,
No,
That
I'm just
wasn't
saying
it.
congratulations like whoop-de-doo.
but that Chernobyl area may be a.
Oh, no, that wasn't what I was looking at then.
Okay.
I was looking at the opposite.
Oh, okay.
It was
I'm looking towards the front on one of my pictures. I sent. There's a style point to be had up front.
I don't know.
we do have it. We have a double beam headlight.
What is that?
Okay. That
So-
isn't what I was referring to, but cool.
What is that?
Instead, it's cheaper and more fuel efficient to have two bulbs.
If it's more efficient.
Okay. Sure, I'll give you a point for it. I don't understand, but I'll give you a point.
But that wasn't what I was referring to. There's something else on the front.
No. I don't know.
I'm running out of style
Oh,
points.
well, I think I sort of see what Milky might be talking about. a
You
little
might
bit,
be
but
catching
I
more
don't know.
trips.
I don't get your drift.
None of us get your drift.
Then you might need the couple up to you train to fog.
We both have hiding couplers.
Well, mine has a streamlined front hiding coupler.
Oh, I didn't even. Okay. I don't.
Oh wait, I think I got one.
What?
That's right.
I'm pretty sure the Challengers weren't in any famous photographs.
Oh yeah, my boy
What?
Winston Link.
What?
But they were in a famous documentary. Asked of the
Yeah.
Giants had a few challengers. That was
Okay, yeah, draw.
including 3985.
Wait. Everybody has a trains model, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's
Yeah.
actual models. So
Okay.
okay.
Yep.
Hmm.
All made by Bill I.
Yep. Yeet. Alright, anyway. You want to end it here?
I have another idea that we can work with some type of
Uh-oh.
point thing here, but
Okay.
it's all up to you, really. It's how are we looking at it from a PR standpoint?
Uh,
I don't know. How are you looking at it from a PR standpoint?
Well, when it did come to the excursions, how I gotta find a picture of 3985 hauling stuff.
3985 hauled the circus train. That was the thing.
And
We
you
also
guys
hauled an
did.
intermodal freight. Oh, or what? I guess 1218 also hauled the freight. Never mind. It was that.
We did travel to St. Louis to become part of the 1990 NRHS, and we
See,
partake in
Jake,
Welfare
no.
1991 and 1999.
Now,
We
see,
part-
Jake, going to St. Louis, that's kind of a draw. You went to St. Louis. He went to Clinchfield Land.
we got to partake in a triple header 3 times.
Give it a few years
That's where
when
the
they
point.
restore 3985 again.
No, that's worth the point. I'll give him that one.
But yeah, that's cool.
Whoops, I don't need that tab anymore.
Oh,
And even on the steepest
when were you
grades,
guys
we
retired?
we were in active service. Oh,
Yeah.
NW went to the very end. I think
Yeah, that's a dumb
We
question.
ended
Don't ask
Steve-
that.
Dumb question because UP had their challenges for a while.
when did UP retire their last Challenger?
3985. I know they had them for.
Well, yeah, they had them. They still have one.
Well, no,
They didn't. It's still
62.
still in.
52?
62.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, UP held on to them for a while.
Or was this holding on to or in revenue service?
It says retired, so revenue
Well,
service.
probably. Well, I don't know.
Okay, according to Wikipedia, which isn't the best source, but fuck it, it's a source. It operated gas revenue train in 1957,
We
but the locomotive
we-
itself was retired in 1962.
We are the 1218, or the A class in general wasn't taken out of revenue service until like the end of 1960.
And
That
they
doesn't
were
even
off the
include-
property by the end of the year. For the most part. And then 3985 actually has an interesting story. It actually got stored in the Cheyenne Roundhouse after it was retired, and then it came out in 1975 and then got put on display at the Cheyenne Depot. And then UP workers started working on it in 79. So it spent about 4 years outside. That's it. Yeah. But you have an interesting career as
Yeah,
well.
you got when 3985 ran excursions before went out of service. How many cars do you think would be on one excursion at a time?
What?
Yes.
Like how many
Some of them.
people? Like how many cars would they use
20
normally?
cars.
20 cars,
Standard UP excursion.
because NS anywhere between 25 to 30, and that was unassisted as well with the 1218. And most of the trips were
UP
sold
back
out.
in the early days had unassisted.
And 1218 only.
Well, also, didn't they use 3095 fairly regularly for, like?
If a diesel broke down, yeah,
I know they
used
used it. Well, no, but like no, they used 844 for like what is it, the rodeo
Yeah.
train or whatever.
Pendleton rodeo.
Yeah.
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 I'm thinking here.
Oh wait,
I
3985
don't
got
think
used
you're
to pull
told.
the Cranksfield Santa train.
Mentioned it. Jader mentioned it already.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
That was
We didn't put a point for it though. I don't think you're coming back from a 5-point deficit right now. Dude.
Hold on. I'm just thinking.
I'm already like done. I'm not suggesting any more points. You're fighting Milky for some reason.
Because I'm desperate.
Okay.
We got to recreate the War Power photo.
Congrats.
Correct. You did a famous photo.
All right, let's vote.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
We'll vote.
Alright, getting rid of these two. Getting rid of those crabs. Alright, so final score is 20-15 for the UP Challenger. And the thing that I was thinking of was your dog house.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah,
one
that's
that
right.
used to style point as a sniping outpost.
Sniping outpost.
Yes. Yes, from long time ago.
Yep.
The great
Anyway.
Gotta snipe them Germans somehow.
You guys can vote Milky and Jader, although I feel like I already know where the votes are going based on the contributions so far.
Jader.
Okay. This is a tough one. I kind of like both of these.
You know the right one.
Hmm.
You know the right decision.
I'm gonna vote for the UP Challenger.
I'm also going to vote for the UP.
Wait, for real? Okay, well I will change what I wrote down in the document then, because I wrote that it was going to be a tie.
No, towards the end, the Challenger got his ass. The A-class got whooped for some reason.
We were quite close for a while there. That said, I'm also going to put in another vote for the A-class, courtesy of Weibold, who isn't here, but I'm certain that he would not vote for the Challenger. If anybody disagrees with that, feel free to like make it known.
Where did Weibold go?
Dinner.
Father's Day dinner.
With Papa.
When was 844 re-lettered to Lionel Lines?
2010.
Yeah.
I never knew
It was a
that.
joke. It was a good joke.
I should get a
Good
model
joke.
of 845.
I think
let's
Doyle
do
McCormick also packed it at some point in around the same time.
Hi, Doyle.
Good job.
And
Yeah,
it said
chum.
chum.
You're
Please.
chum.
No. You know who's chum?
Did we not take news?
Yeah,
Oh.
we did. Did you not take news?
Oh.
Jader, get up to date.
Jader,
Okay.
take some news. Why? Also, your thing kind of got cut off here. It just says Mad
Yeah, I
River
know.
Ann.
I'll fix it.
Mad
Eventually.
River and
Okay. Dear Mr. Donnelly and Mr. Furing, thank you for your letter of April 30th regarding Amtrak's mission, recent changes in our policies, and our commitment to a national passenger rail network. Your letter raises many complicated issues, and I have responded to them in the order below for the sake of clarity. Analyzing the national rail network. The remarks at the April 19th California Rail Summit reflect the fact that since joining Amtrak, I've concluded that there are important service questions that have gone unquestioned and unchanged for far too long. Some parts of Amtrak's business have operated in the same manner for 47 years, and the world is changing around us. Passengers today have different expectations, desires, and alternatives than they did in the past. For Amtrak to respond to these changes and remain relevant, we need to review carefully how to allocate our resources, deploy our assets, and position our products. To fail to do so would be a disservice to the American taxpayers, to our customers, and to the heritage of American passenger railroading. The percentage of end-to-end ridership on our long-distance trains is not meaningless. It points directly to the fact that the markets and customers that those trains attract should be better served by Amtrak. I see no reason to not be open to looking at our network and products from a fresh perspective. While change can be difficult and solutions to some of the objections you may raise may not be immediately apparent, we have a responsibility to consider how to best serve our current customers and the future of the national railroad system. That's like the first 1.5 paragraphs of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish? Really
it's
4.
pretty decent
Paragraph
size.
letter from Richard H. Anderson, the president and CEO of Amtrak, about a number of things, including plans for the Southwest Chief. Is unique among the routes that make up Amtrak's national network, in that it has a significant portion of its route that is owned by a host and is only used by Amtrak. Thus, all the maintenance costs of the right-of-way between Jansen, Colorado, Madrid, and New Mexico are borne by Amtrak. They amount to approximately $3 million annually. And yada yada yada. I will talk about that in a second. In particular, our goal with the Southwest Chief is to ensure the creation of a coherent long-term funding plan that involves commitments from all the relevant stakeholders. That's a sort of breath of fresh air, because it means that he cares about the Southwest Chief continuing to exist. which is sort of contrary to what he said in the past. So it's nice to know that...
Yeah, changed the parts.
Well, it's nice to know that even if he didn't have a change of heart, he still doesn't have a complete disregard for the national network. Amtrak has not terminated the operation of charter trains or the movement of private cars on regularly scheduled Amtrak trains. Amtrak is instead focused on these activities to be consistent with our mandate to provide efficient, effective intercity passenger rail mobility and to minimize federal government subsidies. Some charter train and private car movements had caused operational distraction, failed to capture revenue revenue commensurate with the Amtrak resources and the risk involved, and delayed our customers on our scheduled trains. Charter trains must operate on existing Amtrak routes, and to justify the management resources required to organize them, they must not be one-time trips. So they have to be on a regular basis. Which, difficult, but cool, I guess, because it encourages people to do regular operations instead of
Infrequent.
one-time
Yeah.
trips.
Did you?
That said, that also means that because they are regular trips, they fall under the PTC guidelines, which, again, we will talk about with... there's an article in there about 261. I don't think I took that. I'm not sure who did.
I did. At least I think I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
And we also... formulating guidelines and charter trains for private cars. We recognize that some of our private car customers have cars that are located in places where those cars will no longer be eligible to be added or removed from Amtrak trains. To ease the transition, Amtrak's guidelines offered a review request for one-time one-way moves to locations eligible for Amtrak to add or remove private cars.
okay, so they're not against private cars. They just have to be on an existing Amtrak route. Okay.
Yeah, and they're not against charters. They have to be on a route. They're not against private cars, but they have to be at one of these designated locations, which I assume
Terminating
are
points.
only terminating points. Yeah.
So if I wanted to have my private car that I don't have on here in Albany, I couldn't do it.
You couldn't, but you could keep it in Eugene.
Hypothetically speaking.
Although I don't think they're going to put a private car in the Cascades.
Yeah, have it behind the cab
they're
car.
not going to put it. Yeah, exactly. So no, maybe
that
not.
wouldn't work so well.
You'd have to get somebody
That
else to
fully
move
cab
it
car
to Portland.
to work, but have the
Yeah.
engineer on my private car with the
Well, actually, speaking of private cars, because I wanted to get to this, who has the article about private car regs about the
observation platforms.
the observation
Oh, I thought you
platforms?
I do.
Okay.
Good talk.
Yeah, talk
Amtrak-
about that. What
Amtrak
is that
puts
on
private
about? What
cars
is that
too,
all
the
about?
electric boogaloo.
Yeah.
So, what Amtrak is, I could see this coming from a safety standpoint, but this also goes against the, I'd say, the spirit of an observation car.
Observing a lot.
Private car owners and guests on cars with observation platforms would no longer be able to ride those platforms on any Amtrak-operated train under rules proposed in a new safety manual for private car operators. The 14-page document contains a long list of safety items.
There's an easy way to get around this, but
Yeah.
Seatbelts.
well, no, just when you're in the middle of nowhere, go on the back of the observation car.
Oh, you mean there's a way
Yeah,
to circumvent it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But that said,
Follow the rules.
like, I understand, follow the rules, because people not following the rules is the reason that there's a
Yeah.
problem now in the first place. And number two, I can understand why they're doing this, because it's the same reason you can't ride in a vestibule. But worse, if you're standing out there on the platform and the train gets into an accident, you're going to go flying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is not a great place to be standing. I mean, even when, like, Weibel isn't here, but he could attest to this as well. When we were all standing on the back platform of the train at Strasbourg, and they released the brakes and the train sort of rolled a little bit and popped the slack out of all the couplers, that was like, it thrashed us around a little bit, and we were just standing in the back, and it was only just the slack from like 6 cars. So I can understand if they don't want people on the observation, on the observation decks of private cars, which is a shame, it's a shame that it is dangerous, but it is.
Safety is paramount.
Maybe if you got seatbelts.
Safety first.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's
Yeah, it's unfortunate,
that's
but
the case.
It makes sense.
it makes sense,
Yeah.
which is the sucky thing. They actually have a reason.
it sucks that it makes
it
sense.
sucks that they. If we
Who
had,
knew Amtrak cared about safety?
could that be this title? Sucks to make sense.
It sucks to
That'd be
make
good.
sense.
Good
That's a
title.
good one.
Good title.
Good job.
But so, yeah. But continuing the electric boogaloo, private car groups
Right,
learned this week that effective June 11th, so 6 days ago now, Amtrak's mechanical facilities will no longer allow private car operators to pay for some contracted expensing services.
Whip.
Private car operators will go through the railroad's approved list of contractors for annual
dear.
10-year and 40-year
Is the
inspections.
P&W's Albany stop on there?
The railroad will coordinate these efforts with private car operators through its Consolidated National Operations Center in Wilmington, Delaware. So they all have to go to one place now.
Delaware.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Well, no, they don't all have to go to one place. It's saying that. Where's the article? for this?
In my section, it's on
From what
Trains It's
what
on
I can
Trains
get,
Magazine, so I don't know if it'll be locked for you or not.
No, I can see it. Wait, which one is
Amtrak
it?
bus? No.
It's
the same-
it's called
is that the same
Observation
article?
Platforms.
Oh, okay, it's the same article. Damn it, I just didn't scroll down. far
Okay,
enough.
so from what I get, they have like an approved list of places and people
Yeah.
to do contracted work, and you can only get it done through those places.
Yeah, it's not saying you have to go to Wilmington, Delaware. It's saying that's where the operations center
Okay.
is.
They're giving
isn't
you a list of people
surprising
that are
because-
good at their job. Pretty much.
Yeah, which also I understand, and again, it's in the name of safety, and it's in the name of
Private
sort
car
of
regulation,
taking.
too.
Yeah, it's taking the guesswork out of private cars, which
Because you can
know,
have some really
if you don't
shoddy
want
work
to-
done.
Hmm
By
Yeah.
whoever.
they don't want to be dealing with the the guy you go to get your inspection sticker where you just slip him a 20 and it goes, yeah, you got an inspection.
Yeah.
They don't want to be having people dealing with that guy. And again, we don't know the extent of the extent of what it was that private car owners did that was bad, but we know that Amtrak was upset with private car
Prior
owners,
to it.
because of certain things, because of rule violations and things like that. I don't know. It's like every one of these new regulations, we're going to go, God damn it, why'd you have to do that? And we're, there's reasons. It doesn't make it fun.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not about that.
But on the plus
Uh,
side, they're explaining their reasons rather than just saying, "Oh, we're gonna do this."
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun is just a
Well, I
side
mean, it would be
effect.
nice though if they, didn't, maybe didn't name names, but went and said, this happened and this is why, and this happened and this is why, and this happened. Like if they went
If
through
they
and
gave the
named specific
cases,
events.
well, the names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that would be a invitation for a huge breach of
Oh
privacy.
yeah,
that
for sure.
Even cutting names out.
Not a good thing.
Not good for PR either.
Yeah. Anyway.
So.
Anyway, Southwest Chief in trouble, as we know.
Witness to not in trouble. Yeah.
Rarely. So, Southwest Chief. Oh, this is just the senator from New Mexico. Southwest Chief is really the backbone of transportation infrastructure in rural New Mexico. It has an enormous economic impact on those communities each and every year, which we know. Previous Amtrak administration said it would contribute $3 million to that $16 million Tiger grant from the DOT, but the new administration says no, not necessarily. That said, there's a second article that's linked with this, because you can read about that depression all the time. But U.S. Senator Tom Udall announced that he has a committee that has advanced his bipartisan amendment to help ensure Amtrak Southwest Chief can continue to access federal funding for critical repair work. Now, this is all about that stretch of rail that only Amtrak uses, which is some pass I don't remember the name of. It's Raton, you're right. I just scrolled down and I see Raton. And yeah, so it is admittedly an awkward situation to be in for Amtrak, where they're using this, rail that isn't owned by them, but they are the only ones paying for the repairs on it. At some point, you think like squatting rights would come in and they would just like magically own the railroad track.
That railroad that built in that church property, and they.
Yeah, exactly. Well, see, isn't part of the squatting rights you have to like improve it a little bit? So them doing this maintenance work counts. They should totally own this railroad now. They should own Raton Pass now. Anyway, speaking of changes of ownership, this is exciting. This is something that we talked about briefly, and we can talk about again. This beautiful station over in the lovely city of Detroit.
That we've talked about for years, I think.
Yep. Detroit's long vacant Michigan Central Station has been sold to the Ford Motor Company. And I can think of no better company to own the station in Detroit than Ford. If anything made that city, it was Ford and GMC.
Just too bad.
And
just too bad Ford's trucks can't pull anything.
Yeah, well, it's okay. They've got a train station now.
Yeah, that improves them a little bit. Just won't stop Ford owners waiting for the tow truck, though.
It won't. It's okay. They don't need to stop the Ford. They don't need to stop the Fords at all. They'll stop themselves.
Meanwhile,
but they had like a huge dinner in there and everything, which is crazy. Matthew Moron, whose family enterprise has owned the empty station since 1995, announced its sale Monday morning. Ford sale also included a nearby former Detroit schools book depository that the family owned. The price was not disclosed, but again, based on the pictures, it looks like there was some sort of, dinner. Oh, sorry, hold on. Ford is scheduled to share its plans for the station on June 19th, so very soon. Unfortunately, curse of the Terminus. And yeah, we've been talking about this for a little while. And does it say? I just want to see, building fell into deep disrepair in the early 2000s and was the target of vandals and trespassers. It also became a recurring feature in photography books as a symbol of sorts for Detroit's fall. And it hasn't actually operated trains since 1988. It was built in 1913 as the tallest train station in the world. That could be a Terminus question. And the Moron Enterprise installed more than 1,000 windows, restored an elevator, and cleaned up the interior in the last couple of years. And, sort of because the city has been gaining momentum, and they wanted things to look a little bit better. So now that Ford has it, I hope they can pump some more life into it and, maybe get a trade in there someday.
Hopefully.
I'm not sure what the roadblocks are for getting a train there, other than the fact that it's this huge decrepit station. I know they do run trains to Detroit.
They do, and they still run them on that track.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be too hard to do. It's not like...
All right.
If I tried to bring trains back to the Oregon Electric Depot here.
Well, it's not even like if you tried to bring trains back to the Union Station in Cleveland. It's just a weird sort of out-of-the-way tangle to get to it, and the current Amshack is much better situated on the right-of-way.
Well, that's how it's
the
with
Union Station is.
That's why ODOT went with rebuilding the UP line over using the OE, because the SP stations were in the better situation.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, this is exciting. You want to talk about new trains?
Sure.
Sure.
How about new trains in Connecticut and Massachusetts?
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
Recent track improvements allowing an Amtrak train to reach a top speed of 110 miles
boy.
per hour on the Hartford line, which is final preparations for a launch of the Hartford line between New Haven and Springfield, Mass., which is going to be the first new rail service in Connecticut in 2 decades. So both Amtrak and CT Rail, which is Connecticut Rail, trains are going to be serving this new line, and hopefully it will spur... I'm not sure if commuter rail goes to Springfield yet. I don't think so. I think they just go as far as Worcester.
I had a friend of mine who rode the first CT rail train. His name's Al Mayo. All you modelers out there might know him by his YouTube name, Monster Railroad. Known for his big UP layout and magnificent weathering. It's doggo.
And there's
But anyways, he's known for his... But so he's known for his YouTubing and stuff. I just recommend giving a shout out to him and go subscribe to him. He's a real cool dude.
Anyway, yeah, we're looking at this opening of a line. No, there isn't commuter service to Springfield yet, but hopefully sometime in the future. And the farther west that large service gets, or that frequent service gets in Massachusetts, the happier that I will
Columbus.
be. Because I want to see a better service from Boston to Albany. Because it deserves
Columbus, take a good look at this and tell me that we don't need it. Tell me we don't need it. Say it straight to my face. We need commuter rail service.
Speaking of the Boston and Albany, the B&A section of the Lakeshore Limited is the only section running right now. Because of the repair work that's going on in New York City, the Lakeshore Limited is suspended between Penn Station and upstate New York. So the Lakeshore Limited will only be running between Boston and Chicago, and it has been running that way for like a couple of weeks, and I noticed this on the Amtracker and went, what the hell's going on? And then finally we got this article. So, and there's actually a couple of cool pictures in the article of like old school on the 20th century. But, Mr. McLaury, Amtrak spokesperson, suggested that alternate routes by which passengers can reach Chicago by departing New York and connecting to a Chicago-bound train at points north of the city or in Washington and Philadelphia. So either go north to Albany via the Empire service and then get on the Lakeshore Limited, or get on like the Capital Limited or the Pennsylvanian or something. Or no, not the Pennsylvanian. Pennsylvanian stops in Pittsburgh, huh? Capital Limited or the other one that I'm forgetting. Hold on, I have the Amtrak live map right here. What's this one? The Cardinal is the other one I forgot about.
Through the Heartland.
Yes. Which
The
I want to ride a
Cardinal
Cardinal
is
at some point.
Beautiful train.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's going to be a longer trip, but it's going to have features that people might not normally have taken in, such as gorges and mountain ranges the trains don't normally pass. By the end of the summer, when the repair work is completed, customers would believe. Mr. Magliari said he hoped that customers would believe that the improvements were worth the disruption of the historic rail path, because this is the first time that we haven't had a New York to Chicago direct service in over 100 years. So that's pretty significant. But things got to happen.
Dude,
Anyway,
that reminds me.
let's get something
that
from somebody
reminds
who isn't
me
me.
on the topic
What?
of commuter rail. TriMet is proposing a new MAC sign from downtown Portland
Where is this?
to Tiger. But to the
Where?
south.
Tiger?
West.
Oh, Tigered?
And it's interesting that they're doing this as the next sign, but it does make some sense. But at the
What
same
is
time,
this? What is this like? What is this avoid Barber viaducts thing? I'm looking at this and I'm confused as to what's going on
That's
here.
a modification. I don't know. They don't want to go on the viaducts.
Is that something that already
I think.
exists?
Oh yeah, it does.
Okay.
certain I-5 crossings because they have to go over I-5, which is pretty hairy.
Yeah. Avoid impacts. Oh, like avoid the streets?
Yep.
Adjacent to railroad. So yeah, this is... Okay, that's really cool. Is Max the same people who crashed into a bunch of cars a couple days ago?
No,
Or
but
last-
they
like, a
own
couple
those
weeks ago?
people that apparently didn't have a screw all the way in.
So you're saying that somebody in Portland had a screw loose?
Oh, yeah. It's gotta be it.
Try my upper management debate if he does, but that's a different topic.
Oof.
Anyways, it was just one new screw that caused that derailment. So
That's a hell of a screw.
it
Then
must have been
what
a
screw
major
is this?
screw for the design.
Is this like the Jesus
The
nut?
Jesus nut.
Have you ever heard of that? No. Have you guys ever heard of that? It's a piece of helicopters. It's the nut that holds the rotor blade to the rest
Oh my
of the
God.
helicopter. So they were saying that it's called that because if it ever comes loose, the only thing you can do is pray.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Where's the link for this loose screw? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
What?
So this is their Jesus nut. I'm really wondering how it caused them to leave the tracks and crash into a bunch of
There should
cars.
be
But
an investigation later this year.
yeah, I would hope so. I don't want to be that guy with his car out dumpling.
All those type are now going to be out of service.
Yeah, probably. Well, they fix their loose nuts.
But
Oh,
no.
they better fix it.
You know who
Well,
else better fix it? UP with their tunnel.
Yeah, they better frickin' fix it because I'm going through there in less than a month.
According to this
I better not have to be
magazine article, it will be closed until at least June 23rd. But
Okay,
it's
so-
a good thing.
What did you
Good
do?
thing good thing we wouldn't take an Amtrak the train mountain. That would thus.
Yeah, that would suck.
That would.
Well, no, I mean it would suck for you.
It would suck for me because I was thinking about doing it.
Speaking of
Yeah.
passenger trains, since you guys made me think of this, Denison, the Denison Depot Railroad Museum in Denison, Ohio, will be running not 4, no, not 2, not 4, not 6, but a whopping 16 excursions in a matter of 2 weekends.
Hey, that's regular.
Between Denison and Bowerston on the Ohio Central's the Ohio Central Railroad System's Columbus and Ohio River Railroad, which is the old Pennsylvania Panhandle, into Columbus. And you'll be running. They're doing several types of different train ride themes. Some of them are
Like Dinosaur Train?
no. They're doing
Day Out with Thomas?
Storybook Express,
Nice.
Bing's Magical Halloween Adventure, Chocolate and Cheese
Okay.
Sweetheart, and World War II Troop Train Ride.
Jeez, that's a little bit of one of these things is not like the other.
And then there's
Could be a
and then
different
there
type
and
of-
then
Story
there are
time
just
and
fall,
World
then there
War
are
II
just
troop
fall
train.
foliage train rides on the Sundays.
Full foliage trains.
Saturdays
Yay.
are for the
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
events. Crazy events with crazy kids. So they'll be running 4 trips in a day at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock, I believe. I'm looking at the schedule right now. It's and they'll be using leased power from the Ohio Central. There's no old locomotives yet.
Yet.
No, I'm saying this because I know some information.
Insider info. It's okay. I always have some. but
Inside edition.
inside. Yeah.
They'll be running them 7 miles out to Bowerston and return 4 times a day. I recommend ordering your tickets in beforehand because they're looking to sell out. And if you are planning on getting any sort of pictures of this, be aware of rail fans. I've already talked to a bunch of people in the Ohio Central group.
Beware.
There's going to be quite a few rail fans out chasing this train. That's all I have on that subject.
Okay. Do I have anything relating to excursion? Oh,
Where'd
wait,
Jade-
I do.
Oh.
The Skookum got some work.
Skookum! Skookum is a subreddit, for the record. I'm not entirely sure what it's about, but it
I
exists.
hope it's about the engine.
No, it's not. It's not, but I did post the engine there. Or I replied to a comment there.
Nice, but they got the lubricator installed a while ago. And the cabin's really starting to shape up in this engine. It's nice. Looking forward to seeing it in operation next year. Next year. Or this year, if they work fast enough. Depends. But speaking of if they work fast enough, we got a new part at the museum for the 1067.
Is it a bolt?
A while back in February,
Screw.
Yeah. A while back in February, I mentioned that I had cut pieces off of it to be refurbished. And they finally came after about 4 months. But, oh well, we're not going too fast on this. So it's cool.
Could have taken longer.
Well, we could have. Like some other things, but I could talk about other things. But anyways, so that's progress. And yeah.
Good.
All right,
Cool.
so for all you big Black Rocket fans out of Roanoke,
What?
if you guys haven't already heard, the 611 will not be. Oh, okay then. I thought we were keeping this child friendly.
Of course we fucking are. No.
Oh boy. There will be no public excursions for the Norfolk and Western J Class 611 this year in 2018. Amtrak kind of screwed that over. But they are pleased to announce that they are looking towards excursions, potential excursions in 2019, and more special appearances for the 611. But it will make one special appearance soon on September 29th. The 611 will be in Roanoke for the Big Lick Train Tug, where teams of 6 and 12 try to pull the big locomotive by hand.
Oh,
Okay.
What a name for that.
sounds like fun.
That's impressive, but okay. Okay. Fantastic.
And they said they've also announced that significant funds and progress has been made on raising the money needed to build a permanent home for 611 in Roanoke.
They've been trying to do that for years.
Yeah.
And they've also obtained a steel building that will form the core for the new 611 preservation and education facility. And they're also now focused on raising funds to equip the 611 with positive train control, just like in a bunch of other mainline locomotives.
Like the 261.
For example,
One of the big examples here is the 261. They did have the ability to their original intention was an excursion from Minneapolis, Minnesota to Duluth, Minnesota, and return. But courtesy of Amtrak, the excursion was canceled, and 261 had no way of getting the PTC installed. But since then, Justin Young of the Rariting Heritage of Midwest America started a GoFundMe for the 261 to install PTC by the mandated date of December 2018. The cost for PTC in the 261 will cost anywhere between $100,000 and $150,000. Without the funding
It's not
to
too
purchase,
bad, relatively speaking.
and without the funding to purchase, install trade crews, install and train crews for PTC, use on 261 mainline excursions may never run again with the locomotive. So I highly recommend donating so another locomotive is able to continue riding the rails for many years to come.
For the record, the PTC or the 261 guys have been kind of clickbaity and and sort of doomsay when it comes to PTC lately. They had their
good.
not exactly being
Optimistic value.
what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, optimistic or also neutral sounding at all. Like that last bit, they may never run again with this locomotive. It's like
Mainline
calm
mainline
down.
excursions.
Well,
Yeah,
wasn't there an exception for steam engines?
there is ones that aren't running, on what was it, like set schedules or something like that. Now again, that there's still a problem because if you want Amtrak to help you, then it has to be a regular occurrence, which means
That's
it
true.
doesn't it doesn't meet the thing.
I guess I just happened to hear a name from 49 people about.
I mean, I'm sure Doyle is pulling strings anyway.
As he always does.
He's probably already figured out what he wants to do with that.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But
Yeah.
261 has been kind of doomsay. Also, this just occurred to me. So you said the excursion was supposed to be between where?
Minneapolis and Duluth, and it was going to be an overnighter in Duluth.
Okay, I have a legitimate question. What on earth is there to see over that stretch?
Trees.
That's
Happy little
like
trees.
Happy little
Flat.
trees.
and empty and
I think there's some
boring?
trestles.
Yeah, there are some trestles. And if they did what they
Wow.
if they were going to do what they did the last time they did it, they would go for a little tour of the what's it called? No, not the BNSF, the what's the
Superior
tourist,
Road Museum?
not the museum, but the tourist railroad itself. It's called the
North Shore Scenic.
North Shore Scenic Railroad.
I give that and the museum 5 out of no. I give it a 100% and a platinum certification.
At the whaler.
At the rail yard.
Okay, but anyway, like, what is the point of going there?
Why not?
North.
Like, go somewhere. Like, this just occurred to me as we were discussing this. It's like, holy crap! I never realized there's nothing interesting around them. It's boring and flat, and empty.
You're boring and flat and empty.
I know, but like, that's why nobody runs excursions on me.
Oh.
Want to bet?
50 paces.
We'll wait. I'm gonna wait till after the podcast for that joke.
Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Stop crying over spilled milk, guys.
Yeah. Well, anyway. I hope they get the money they need to equip it with PDC. They could stop being a little bit sensationalist about it. That'd be nice. And for those of you that were looking to go on this excursion, if you go on Google Maps, you aren't missing much.
Yeah, still, an excursion is.
No, I know it's a really cool thing. I don't mean to take away from that. I'm just sort of joking around the fact that it is just like, wow. You don't have coastline to run along. You don't have mountains to run through. You've got fields and trees.
That's all I need.
So,
Well, that's more
I
than
guess.
there is around this milk truck collision with BNSF in the middle of New Mexico.
there are no trees in New Mexico.
There's nothing in except for 2926, but other than that,
No, there are no trees in New Mexico. Nothing is alive in
except
New
on the
Mexico.
cats. That's it.
And Graham.
No.
No,
Nine
Graham.
there.
No.
Graham.
Cats doesn't count. Graham is not alive.
crack.
But anyways, it appears that the trailer was relatively undamaged, but the train got the truck. And the driver got hospitalized.
Is he going to live?
He's in a lot of pain, but I've seen the semi he was in. I don't know how my husband is still alive, said this way.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
he got a few surgeries.
But he's going to live.
Hopefully.
Also, he's in a lot of pain. Yeah, he got hit by a train.
Duh.
If he wasn't,
The
I'd
train
be...
was partially derailed, but remained upright with no injuries.
Huh.
But
No injuries. That's a good thing.
worst case scenario is just to be in the hospital for a bit. I don't think it's
Okay.
serious.
I hope he's fine then. I gotta wonder what happened in the middle of nowhere. Also, why he was driving a milk truck in the middle of nowhere. Also, where on earth that milk was coming from, because nothing's alive in New Mexico.
Except for the 29.
Do they have, like, milk reserves and milk wells? Like, you get oil in Texas, you get milk in New Mexico? I gotta ask
Yeah.
Graham about that.
There's milk in them there hills.
Speaking of them there hills, Yakima Valley Trolley a while back. I'm like half a year behind on this. And we should have jumped on it at the beginning of the year, but I didn't.
Old news.
But anyways, old news. They released their year in review, which they had a hell of a year.
Yeah, it looks like there were some
Yeah, they had
rocks
some
involved.
walk sides that took a few months to repair, and when the city manager of Yakima drove a trolley, which was pretty cool, and he approves.
Mhm.
They had to do some overhead work because I think some of the poles were starting to wad out, and they had a charter where they had all their operating equipment out.
No.
Which is they have a decent connection. They have 2 Portal cars, 2 Will Master unit cars. I'll send the boss to on about it. Well, actually, no, they don't have 2 Master unit cars. They have 3 now. Because if you scroll down a little bit after the cool station that they got, that's just waiting. It's a very interurban kind of station. It's just a shelter.
It looks like a flag stop that I'd put on the VMR or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, it's a guy speeder. But anyway, scrolling down, they had a fire, which I talked about, and they had to park the trolley, and they had some track repairs as well. Just kind of skimming, because there's something that I want to talk about here. Okay, so pretty much.
Alright. 1 second. I have to attend to something. You guys carry on. I'll be back shortly. And take all the links that you cover and put them down in maintenance way.
Okay.
So that I can put them in the
Okay.
cargos. So that I know what you guys have covered.
Oh,
Alrighty.
just skim through this before you go. That's what they have.
Alright.
But anyways, they have. Oh, if you're following along with me, they have acquired another Brillmaster unit that originally ran in Yakima. It is their third Brillmaster unit out of the three that operate there originally. Yeah. So they effectively completed their collection. And after Yakima retired them in 1947, the Portland Traction Company purchased all three of them and ran them in interurban service. This particular one that they got has been out in the woods since 1959. And it had a tree that grew into it.
Fun.
Which in the picture, I would have Ellis show the picture, but it also shows the extent of the kind of damage that it took. The roof is missing for about 8 feet.
Oh my!
Yeah, I wonder why definitely not the tree. And yeah, it's interesting because it's been in private ownership since 1959, and now it came out of private ownership in Yakima, guys. Anyways, they were Yakima talked for decades with the owner of it, and the owner was reluctant because he and the business partner were planning to use it on the trolley in Seattle. Yeah. Or on the trolley railroad in Seattle. But that never came to fruition, and the two involved were getting older. It's just about 5 years. So in the fall, the Master Unit owner offered to donate it to the Trolley Association, and they accepted it. It's in pretty dire condition because of the tree. And will be used mainly for parts. But so might become a static display somewhere in Yakima as a reminder that Yakima is Washington's trolley city. And then they did pumpkin prisons. I mainly wanted to talk about the fact that they got one of those Yakima cars from private owners. Because right behind it, and you can see it in the picture, it's a Portland Traction Company interurban line car. Which I'm not very sure of. It's there. Still there. I've seen photos of it recently. Still in the same spot. But it's not looking too good. And
Well, at least it's still there. That's the important thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be nice if it wasn't there.
True.
Also, there's a good. Anyways, if you want to continue with the ice beans.
Speaking of, well, I guess stuff like railroads that involve some green in a bad way. An update on the Indiana Transportation Museum.
Oh yeah.
The feds gave the go ahead to the Nickel Plate Greenway in Hamilton County.
Oh wait, is this like new? Because was it not last podcast, but the podcast before? I think I covered how they had the go ahead to rip up the track, and they just haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
All right, I'm in the cut and paste link.
Well, speaking of, closing railroads, the Bay Coast Railroad in Maryland, and Virginia, has closed. This isn't exactly a good. This is just the Wikipedia page. It doesn't exactly say. Oh, hang on. Let's see here. Operations. See if it says why they closed. End of operations. Let's see. As of May 18, 2018, Bay Coast Railroad held their last train before shutting down. Let's see. They filed. They filed with
uh,
the STB on May 17th to. Let's see.
The main reason why ITM stopped was 7 people blew the whistle, no pun intended, on the museum for questionable financial practice, failure to maintain
Ouch.
timely and accurate records, and
I know a few things about that, but
and
that's for after the podcast.
and failure to properly manage the museum, and so they shut down the tracks.
Hmm.
Then the city of Noblesville said they would gladly reopen if they FRA came in and said the tracks are safe to use. There's no issue with that. But then the HHPA, the Hoosier Heritage Port Authority, came in and practically said this: "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! You have no idea what you're talking about here. I mean, I know you guys are the FRA, but let me tell you something. That's not. You're incorrect."
Wait, what is this?
Something museum
So-
politics.
The Indiana Transportation
Oh, great.
Museum, the HHPA, the Hoosier Heritage Port Authority, said the tracks weren't safe.
The HHP8?
No, PA. They said
HHP8.
they said the tracks on the Indiana Transportation Museum weren't safe to run on. After the FRA came in and said the tracks are safe to run on, they were practically said, "Whoa, whoa, you have no idea what you're talking about here. You guys aren't professionals. Let us deal with it."
Wait, who? Wait. Who, the HHP8.
These are the people that own
they-
the tracks. That the ITM run.
Oh, well, no. That sounds like the HHPA just doesn't want people running on the tracks. It is coming up with a
Yeah,
reason
they
for
said
it.
stuff like a tiny split tie, like more toward like on the ends of the tie, are unsafe to run on.
Oh my
They should
god.
see our
Look at-
museum
Right.
then.
Yeah,
Look
the
at our
frick-
museum.
Yeah.
Look at the mommy. If that's
Look at
safe
the-
to run on, anything is safe
Yeah.
to run on. Look at the cats.
The DNS.
No, not the cats. The,
The
DNS.
cats actually has
The
true
DNS. Cats is decent. The DNS is so.
Trip track.
Well, how about
Yeah.
the main narrow gauge?
Ooh.
You begin to question if there are ties under there.
I don't know. Have them cross the road and you'll figure it out.
Under the grass. Alright. Well, that's. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is not the Machiavellian desires of the trail people. It's. I feel like if the HHPA had never stepped in and said, you can't run on this track, we would have much more of a. We would have had much more of an argument for keeping the tracks in place. That's why an Amtrak learns this every day. Don't trust other people's track.
Yep.
They just decide to kick you off of it. Southwest Chief does that, like, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you know who doesn't kick
Anyway.
people off? MB3. Because they released their specs for Trains 2019. Or should I say Trains Railroad Simulator 2019.
Well, you know who does kick people off? After I look at this very briefly and see if I can make this. 2 gigahertz, 2 cores, really? Okay, I don't believe you.
Fake news.
I can't exactly
Yeah.
talk to you.
Low settings, 2.6 gigahertz, 4 cores. I can make that.
All I can say is I meet these.
You meet these. Well, that's good.
I think the
but
laptop
you know who
I got
does
for
kick
school
people
might
off?
meet that.
This Indian Railway must pay 13,000 rupees, about $190. That's not a lot of money. To a man they kicked off a train for having a ticket from the future.
Bum, bum, bum.
Was it Doc Brown?
According to the Times of India, this 73-year-old man had a ticket dated 3013 instead of 2013. The conductor believed it was fake and forced the man off the train. The man was persistent and took Indian Railways to court. The court ruled in the man's favor. So, so they have to pay him a whole $190. Man, I hope lawyers in this, I hope Indian lawyers are cheap, because that is not a lot of money. Who just put this back in the unclaimed news? You guys don't need to put the links back down there anymore, because
I put my stuff
I'm
in the
here
maintenance
now.
away.
Somebody just Milky.
Wasn't me.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't me.
He says as he moves his
But you know
cursor
what
away.
also wasn't me? The American Railway, or American Heritage Railways, suspended service on Mount Rainier.
Really? That wasn't you? You weren't in charge of
No,
that?
but I was in charge. The railroad would still be running.
Why did they close it?
Durango.
What?
Their damn fire costs the Mount Rainier the
That makes no sense.
It does from the point of view of Durango makes money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Durango makes the money so that Rainier
Yeah.
can continue operating.
Okay.
But at
So
the same
he
time,
closed down.
Mount Rainier could make some money.
I mean, apparently it doesn't.
Doesn't make enough money.
That's
But anyways,
yeah.
yay.
If it doesn't offset its own cost, then it's toast anyway. It's chum
Yeah, it's
anyway.
You're chum.
Anyways,
Yeah. You know what's chum?
You.
American Railway.
Everybody.
PTC?
Because nobody robs trains anymore.
Want to bet?
Unless you're British. Unless you're British.
Want to bet?
All services on the C2C line are currently suspended after a train was stolen from Basildon Station in the early hours of Tuesday
Wait.
morning.
They
For what?
actually stole the train?
Around 5 a.m., hooded thieves were witnessed moving the train onto a truck that was waiting on the street below.
What?
And then, presumably, they made off with it.
What the?
We are urging the public to remain vigilant, and if anyone offer you a
What
complete
the
set... Okay, no, this has to be satire.
This
be
has
satire.
to be
Yeah.
satire.
Yeah. Who posted this in the thing? I only
Is
glanced
it
at it.
Weibold?
That
No.
sounds like a really cool story to tell.
That sounds like a hilarious story,
Hey,
but yeah, no, it's a parody.
hey grandson,
Oh, well,
I stole a
that's
fucking
disappointing.
train.
That was really funny.
We're-
I just glanced at it and was like, oh, somebody made off with a train. That's hilarious. I'm putting that in the news. I'm taking that. But no, it's a parody article about them stealing a whole set of
Oh, that's
cars.
great.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, though,
Good story.
let's go to Burlington. Burlington Union Station. The members of the Chittenden County Regional Planning Commission drew the ire of Burlington residents Wednesday during a presentation on potential storage locations for the East Allen Amtrak Express train. The passenger train isn't scheduled to pull into the city before 2021, but hands shot up complaints and concerns throughout the presentation at the Department of Public Works building on Pine Street. No public comment supported the report's suggestion that downtown Union Station is the most suitable location for overnight train storage. Once the train begins to serve Burlington, it must be housed overnight from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. City officials requested the Planning Commission study 5 locations as potential storage sites. Union Station scored poorly for train visibility, noise impacts, and proximity to residential areas, but scored well for ease of property acquisition, electrical power availability, and crew convenience. I am questioning, so the train pulls in there anyway. They're upset that the idea is that they're leaving it there. Probably because it's going to be running and producing exhaust. But
There's this thing called
the thing that I'm
off switch.
questioning... Yeah, well, yeah, but you say that, but remember the time that the
Oh, yeah.
Scenic derailed an engine and left it there for a week running? So, and there was a post on /r/railroads or /r/trains on Reddit a little while ago. There was someone who was complaining because NS had been idling a locomotive outside of their house for 3.5 days.
Boo-hoo.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, they did that during the steam era, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit less
And it's not
obnoxious.
as environmentally.
You've got the
not
air
as
compressor.
environmentally
Depends
bad.
on the air compressor.
Still, you know, at most it's just like a
Like,
every now and again.
yeah.
To be
Instead of
Yeah.
this constant humming.
Having a locomotive, no, oh boo-hoo. If you had a locomotive idling outside of your house for 3 days, you'd probably have a bad time. Especially if you're not a very heavy sleeper. You know? It's not quiet.
No.
And even then, and also, no, they really didn't idle steam locomotives outside of people's houses for days, because you couldn't do that, because you would run out of fuel.
You put the automatic fire.
But many attendees expressed a preference for train storage at the rail yard, which is literally like 2 blocks to the south. I've looked at this area extensively. I did a report on some of the traffic signals in this area for work. Many attendees said expressed preference for train storage at the rail yard, but the commission member said that Vermont Rail System had insisted it does not have the capacity to store another train. You've got plenty of room to build another track. Let me go on the map for a second. Maps.google.com. Let me go back to Burlington and just make sure. That said, there are areas that are not so far away that you can definitely do this on the same sort of stretches of rail. This is right close to. You guys remember me telling you all about the Rutland and their causeway?
Mm-hmm.
This is very, very close to there, and there's still a spur that goes sort of towards the causeway. You could definitely get away with putting a train on that for a little while, or at the very least, you know, putting a couple of layup tracks up there, because it's really not far away. It really isn't. But they want to park it right in front of the station, which, yeah, the residents are complaining about this, which I can understand, because it's kind of like, it is kind of obnoxious, because it's, you know, you're parking a train just in the way of the waterfront, because it's very close to the waterfront. It's like the tracks separate all the things from the waterfront. You know, and just south of that is the Vermont Railway Yard, which, yeah, they could definitely add a couple of tracks in here if they really wanted to. Mostly because there's a giant space in the middle that's just dirt. But if you go up a little ways... Also, I could see it being obnoxious to park a train on the station because Amtrak is not the only railroad that uses that station. There's this little thing called the Green Mountain that runs excursions up there. So, yeah. But yeah, there's other room around. So people are harping on about this. Despite the disagreements, many speakers affirmed their support for train transportation, expressed hope that all sides could come together. Churchill, who appeared tired and disappointed after the public onslaught, said her committee would regroup to see what parts of the report ought to be redone. After rerunning evaluations, report and resident feedback will be sent to the Vermont Agency of Transportation, which will ultimately decide where the train overnights. Currently, the only thing that goes up to... currently it's the Ethan Allen that goes to... Oh, no, sorry. No, the Vermonter goes through Burlington, but it does not go to Burlington Station. That's right. The Ethan Allen goes to Rutland, and there's a proposed extension to Burlington. And so that's what they're talking about here. That's right. I got my trains mixed up. I knew there was a train that went near there, but that is the Vermonter. So, yeah, that's a little bit obnoxious.
Yeah.
That they just want to park a train in front of the waterfront and idle it there for, you know, overnight too. That's like really close to. It's close to a whole lot of apartments and everything. Like, I know they might not necessarily be idling it, but you. Yeah. Well, yeah, but I know that you might not necessarily be idling it, but, and you know, I can understand. And you know, yeah, I can understand, and usually we'll say we'll suck it up if there's a rail line that wants to be reactivated. But it's a horse of a different color to leave an engine sitting, or to leave a train sitting, especially when it's out in the open and being an eyesore.
Yeah, I could see that.
And yeah,
I see the towns.
Maybe vandalism too. Like,
yeah, but that's a pretty.
I mean,
I wouldn't expect vandalism in that area because it is right in front of the waterfront.
Okay.
It's not. It's like surrounded by apartments, condominiums, and a yacht club.
Okay.
Plenty of people would notice.
I don't. Yeah. people would notice. That said, yeah, that is a concern. You're not going to be able to keep people away from the train. They should probably, if I were to suggest anything, I would say go a little bit up north, sort of along the trail, and build a layover facility or something.
Yeah, we ate some of the old grade.
That's just me. Yeah. Well, I mean, the old grade is currently a bike path, but the area next there's plenty of area.
Is it well banked, or is it just straight up a bike path?
Well, it leads to the one-track causeway.
Well, no, I know that. I mean, is the trail well banked or not?
What do you mean by that?
Whale banking preserves the right of way for future use as well.
No, it's definitely not preserved for future use as a rail line because it leads to the Rutland's Causeway.
Okay.
There would be, not to say, but there really isn't a strong reasoning to rail bank that.
Okay, I'm just wondering because if it's rail banked, they can build on the trail.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that if they want area, there's area, and it's next to it. Like if you follow the trail just a couple 100 feet, there's an area that's a cleared area. I'm not sure what's there. I'd assume they're going to be building something there, but I don't know what. And it's like that would be an ideal location. It's out of the way. It's out of sight. It's kind
What's
of
the
just
name of
off
the
in the
trail?
woods. The trail is the Island Line Trail.
Okay.
But yeah, I can show you guys later, and anyone can go ahead and look on Google Maps. If you look at Burlington Union Station, follow the tracks up. There's a parallel set of tracks that, where one set curves away to the east, the other set goes straight and very quickly disappears into the forest, and becomes the trail, basically. And yeah, that's
Okay,
definitely where they could leave a
roads.
train if yeah. It is not something that the Island Line Trail is something that they definitely just put down after the Rutland, failed.
I'm reading up on it in the they just didn't want to reopen it. The state. Because the state could have reopened it.
I mean, they could have. But, when the Rutland left, at what point did the Rutland pull out? When did they start with the trail?
63.
Yeah. See, that is not in the sort of timeline where you would expect city councils and people to be like, yeah, we need to put the railroad back. That's when you're getting to the era of, yeah, screw the railroad. What do we need that for? And more importantly, there are definitely easier ways up Lake Champlain. There are a lot of easier ways than going across the causeway.
Yeah.
Like, I do not envy the Rutland for having to maintain things.
No. It wasn't easy.
So, no. That being the way it is, it would be beautiful as a rail corridor, but it's not, it is not a rail corridor anymore. And at that point in time, there was going to be nobody that was going to operate that.
Yeah.
So, I'm not surprised it became a trail. I'm glad it became a trail instead of, wasting away and disappearing, because it lets you, see that. But when the Rutland pulled out in '61, that is early. Anyway, let's hit up a couple more things because we're running a little long here.
I've noticed that.
Yep. There's a thing about we'll talk about that at some future
Yeah,
point.
we can.
I have some good news though because I glanced at this. There is an agreement in principle. It's called to transfer the ownership of the Hudson Bay Railway. And then reinstate services to Churchill in northern Manitoba by winter of 2018, which is
It's a happy
good.
ending to
Finally,
the shot.
yeah, it's a beginning of a happy ending. I think. They have a long way to go, but government agreed to apply, blah, blah, blah. November 2017, government announced that the investment group Fairfax Financial Holdings had expressed interest in partnering with the Mississippi Rail and One North First Nations consortia to acquire the HBR, Port of Churchill, and associated assets. These partners have now been joined by the AGT Food and Ingredients. So it's all these businesses and stuff that are looking to join up and get a hold of this rail line. So this is a rail line that suffered a lot recently, and as of last year, and needs a lot of rehabilitation. But the fact that it could be reopening in the not-so-distant future is incredibly important for the people of those tiny communities up there who, contrary to most of the arguments, the counter-arguments that end up being made about the Amtrak long-distance services, they don't have a road. They don't have anything. They have a plane, if you're lucky, and a boat in the summer.
Yeah.
So, that is more important.
Yeah.
But anyway, anyone want a lightning round? Or are we good here?
I can go for one thing real quick. Just to throw in some labs here with this one, which we found out that was apparently uploaded to, or was made a news thing 4 years ago.
Oh, yes, the skirts.
Sweden male train drivers are wearing skirts.
I
They
saw
were.
this.
Okay, yeah, you're right. This was in 2013. Whoever's given us this news, I'm not sure this was the same person as the satire article.
That was great.
Old news, but funny news.
Old news,
Old
but funny news.
funny news.
Sweden male train drivers were denied to wear shorts to work, but females could still wear skirts. So in retaliation, men don't know if they are. We're wearing skirts, and it's. I just hope they weren't doing. They weren't doing what the Scottish were going commando.
Oh, I saw plenty of people in kilts last night.
Oh boy.
Because I went to a Flogging Molly and Dropkick Murphys concert.
Were they
I don't know. I didn't look.
Good.
I didn't ask.
Don't ask, don't tell.
What?
Yeah.
If you're wearing underwear.
going commando?
Commando.
Commando. All right. Anyway, anything else?
Not for me.
I think we're good.
All right. Well, let's do the last little bit. This is the latest train on Amtrak.
Everybody's favorite game show.
What does everyone think? Everyone's
favorite
passenger's
milk-tasting
least
train
favorite
show.
game show. So, what does everyone think is the latest
What's
train
Well,
on
my
Something really
co-starrites
obscure.
are dead, so
Um,
yeah, go with them. Eastbound Empire Builder.
Eastbound Empire Builder for Milky.
Okay. This is a tough one.
I'm thinking here. Isn't it the Hartford train? The Amtrak Hartford line train that they're working on?
And Fry.
It's not a trick question, dude. You take a guess at what you think is the latest train on Amtrak.
Hartford train.
Okay, so the shuttle. I
The
guess.
shuttle.
Okay. What's the one that goes between, like, New York and Canada? The Maple Leaf?
Yeah,
Montreal.
Maple Leaf.
Okay. Maple
All right,
Leaf.
let's
Okay.
do the northbound Maple Leaf.
Okay.
All right, the northbound Maple Leaf. Oh wait, that is the northbound.
That is
Maple
the
Leaf.
north.
The northbound Maple Leaf. I'm not sure is.
Alright.
I just clicked on it. I think the only one that's running right now is the southbound. Northbound is off. The
Oh, okay,
system
yeah,
already.
let's do that. The southbound Maple
So-
Leaf.
Wait. What's that? Yeah. So southbound Maple Leaf is only 30 minutes
Oh,
late.
okay. That's good, though.
The eastbound Empire Builder, right? That's what you said, Milky. Number 8 to Chicago is 50 minutes late at Wolf Point, Montana. Or 1 hour and 8 minutes late at Williston, North Dakota. So, thereabouts. The Hartford
The
train.
shuttle.
Shuttle to Springfield. Currently 5 minutes
Oh.
late.
Okay. So combined, we're like
Or
an
20
hour
minutes late for
and
the
a
other
half
direction.
late. All right.
Yeah. The latest train on Amtrak. Let's see. Ooh, this is a close one, actually. The Silver Star is 3 hours and 2 minutes late at Trenton, New Jersey, but the Lakeshore Limited to Boston is 3 hours and 42 minutes late at Pittsfield, Massachusetts. And that is the latest train on Amtrak.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm looking at all the.
Hey, you're not supposed to
Never
be
mind.
looking. Stop it.
No, you're
No
weird.
rule there.
I even hinted at it in the
beginning. Everyone's favorite no peeking game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No look-see. Remember that time that...
That you always tried to and messed up? Yeah, that was good.
Still got it wrong? Anyway, alright. Let's move on to the terminations. We had a perfect podcast. It's
Hey,
good.
I should screw it up right
Miracle.
now.
Jake, you've got the first last word.
Our last words for you guys. We should all start following Mill Creek Central Railroad logic. Starting with logic tip number 1. If it ain't broke, fix it until it's broke.
Okay.
Okay, Wybold is next. I wrote his as just Happy Father's Day, because he's out with his dad. I don't have any words of wisdom right now. Let me see. Let me think. I had all this time to think about stuff. But,
Stay an hour later. You'll get the right train.
yeah.
Stay an hour later.
PSA, stay an hour there.
Don't gamble on commuter rail.
So choose the later train and go to Panera.
It's the butterfly effect.
Exactly.
Your decisions have consequences like commuter rail being made.
Yeah, exactly. Clearly, it was my fault for making that decision in the first place. All right, Jader, what's yours?
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I hijacked the intro. We had to do it a second time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Good luck for you.
Good.
And Milky.
Okay, I've got some words of advice. Being persistent is good for you. It just takes time.
Good for
I'm just
you.
going to explain what happened. So, right before we started recording this podcast, I got a call back from a job I applied for with the Port in the Western Railroad. So, hopefully,
Nice.
something good happens. Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, we will see you.
Bye
couple of
bye.
weeks.
Bye. Subscribe to Untitled Chapter.